What it do, what it is, what's happening? It's your boy Pressure, a.k.a. Mr. PressureOnline.com. Woo! And right now, y'all tuned into the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. If you ain't listening to this, then what you listening to?
New Jim Jones.
Hey.
New project out now. I want to tell y'all the name. I think it's called Back in My Prime. This features the homie, what's the homie name? Ty Dolla $ign. We got Pressure Online in the studio. Big Jersey Energy, Jersey City. Stand up, sir. All my ladies out there, I love you. Put your windows down, vibe out. The Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. Big up to Harlem. Titty Tane, what's good? Shout out to Hitmaker. Shout out to Hova. Shout out to Cuzzo in the building. Got a baby on the way. Congratulations.
Yeah. Family.
And God bless.
Big fact.
Welcome world, episode 140 of the Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. I am the brother Burnz. To the right of me, I got the brother VS.
You know what it be, VS to the OP, man. We repping that LBE, rocking that MDMA all day.
All day.
Facts.
We got the homie Pressure Online in the building.
Well,
Thank you for
shaking,
being
boss.
here, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Our third host, Bludshot, will be calling in later. He's a little tied up, but we got a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. We're going to get into the homie Pressure's career. He got a lot of projects. Transparent is out now on all DSPs. Go download that. Go stream that. The Green Ranger is out now. Go stream that. The video is out. Go check that out. Dope shit.
Run
You got
that
a
up.
what was the name of number 2? Produced by Speedy?
Sheep clothing.
Sheep Clothing.
Yeah.
Go stream that. Go download that.
That one's
Shout out to Speedy. Thank you.
Go back
The
a
video.
little. Download and stream Fear. Finding Excuses and Reason, 2020 release. Go download Silent Screams in 2014. I fuck with these titles, bro. There's a lot of like deeper meaning to these titles that I'm seeing here. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the Fear documentary. I want to know why the Green Ranger above all other Rangers. I always thought the white and gold Ranger was like the coolest Ranger. We'll get into all these projects. I want to talk the Jersey City rap scene. It appears to be bubbling. A lot of good people out there. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to the I Don't Care What You Think podcast, Ray Spitter and Doughboy. Much love to y'all.
Friends of the show.
Before we get into all that, first of all, let's go back to the very beginning. Jim Jones. Jim Jones says he wants a rematch.
That ain't gonna happen. A rematch what? In versus the Locks?
Jim Jones says he wants a rematch, and his exact words were, "We will be ready." Pressure, what you think about that?
Wow. Now, I met all them guys, and I've been around them a handful of times. So, respectfully saying, it's hip hop, man. It's hip hop. You know, no one's ever gonna be comfortable with getting jabbed in the face in front of camera. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, it's about how you capitalize from it and how you build momentum from that moment. Which I seen Jada got like a little, I think he got like a deal with he makes coffee or something like that.
He got his own coffee now. Shout out to Jada.
Yeah.
I think he partnered up with his dad, and they put out their own coffee line. I think it's called Kiss Coffee, something like that.
Yeah, it's dope.
Shout out to that.
They got the little tour going.
Feel free to send some of that Kiss Coffee over. We'll share it with Cuzzo. Cuzzo is an extreme coffee lover. He gets the exclusive coffees delivered straight from like Ethiopia and
Afghanistan.
Just the rawest coffees. The shit don't even be on the market, and he be having it bagged up, ready. So
Damn.
Yeah.
fuck with Cuzzo. Send us that coffee.
You'll be up for a week.
Back to Jada. I love the confidence. I mean, back to Jimmy. I love the confidence of wanting a rematch. I fear the consequence of wanting a rematch. Because the first, outing was so dominant,
Lopsided.
defeat wise. You know, Jada just did his thing big time. If that was to happen again, that would be very
That's
heartbreaking.
crippling, yo. That could cripple their
Heartbreaking
careers.
to Harlem.
I think it's the mixtape stuff that caught them off guard. That was the Blindside hit. So,
And that was the hard hits right there. That Who Shot You freestyle ended up being commercially released and dropped as a streamable.
Like yeah. Which is crazy because some people don't know. Like I know, I'm sure you have. I heard that on was around the time he did the Kiss, the Last Kiss album. I think that was 2009.
Yeah. It's an old freestyle.
Yeah, it was originally on there, but it's just the way he caught it that made it so relevant again.
Yeah, and the way he introed it and everything, it sounded dope. It looked dope.
Yeah. And even when he did it in the verses, like at the time during the verses when he did it, like if you would have done it too early, it wouldn't have hit as hard. Right. If you would have done it too late, it wouldn't have hit as hard. He did it right at the right time, bro.
Yeah, he wanted that game changer. That was a game changer.
In fact, they released both versions commercially. The studio version and the live version.
And the live version, facts.
So you hear the crowd and their reaction
to it.
Yo, that to me is probably a top 10 hip hop moment of all time.
Yeah.
Like that
has to be.
Gives me chills watching it. So I commend Jimmy for even being ballsy enough to say I want a rematch. That's like Mike Tyson comes and knocks you out first round, 3-hit combo, and then you're like, nah, I want a rematch.
I wasn't ready.
That was some bullshit.
But prior to that, nobody ever seen mixtape work or freestyles be introduced on Versus. So he Dipset probably thought that was off limits. And, Jada, that's what their foundation is off of.
And the scary thing is Jada has much more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He could probably do a Versus just off freestyles and mixtape shit. So shout out to that. Shout out to Jada. Another thing on that Jim Jones album I need y'all to check out. Well, not to check out, but another thing that I caught on that album, on one of the songs, he speaks about Cameron, and he says something to the effect of, I don't really see Cam no more, but it's always going to be love, but we don't necessarily see eye to eye on everything, which I admire. There's something about Jim Jones and his honesty that I really fuck with. Right. Like, I don't know if y'all remember that Funk Flex interview where he actually started shedding tears.
Correct.
Yo, I see no shame in that. People online will kill him and shit on him, whatever. Yo, I think it takes mega balls, bro, to be so transparent, to be so popular and so well known and so heralded as a street dude, and Big B's and Trey, whatever. And then to still be able to just be Jimmy and
be vulnerable,
and be vulnerable and let out all the emotions. So big shout out to Jimmy, man. And you say you've been around them, in a music sense or in just like a hanging out sense?
In passing.
Well, yeah, a lot of things was business related. Yeah. Outside of me doing music, I was behind the scenes like working the cameras. I'm directing, I'm sending cameramen doing this and that. Like that's what I was doing. So I was always around people.
Okay. Was that why? Was that why I saw you the video on the YouTube at the Grammys? Were you there doing camera work, or were you there on like a?
No, actually, shout out to my guy Smiles. He told me to fly out there like the day before. Right, this is crazy. He's like, because he give out Bibles and stuff, like, cause he know these artists personally, they bodyguards. He like, I want you to meet Beyonce, and I ain't believe him.
Right, who would?
Right, I'm like, stop playing. But I was like, I'm gonna take the risk simply because I didn't have nothing to do. Plus, I'd never been to LA at this time. This was February of 2017. Nice. Went out there. She was pregnant with the twins, I think, at the time. And he's like, yeah, we went to the Staples Center, went right around the back, and he's like, yeah, I'm about to hand out a Bible. And I tried to catch it on camera, but the bodyguard was acting a little crazy. Yeah. But he walked up to her, and she straight up told the bodyguard, like, no, he's good. And he gave her a kiss. He handed her the Bible. She was thankful and all that. Wow. And then we spoke, and I was just like, wow.
But is that, you say he handed her a Bible, and you said he gives artists Bibles. Like, he just walks around with mad Bibles and gives them to people?
Well, he has relationships with a lot of people in the game because he was in the game for a great while. So he gets their name engraved on them. So they'd be like custom-made Bibles. So he makes sure wherever he going and he know they're going to be, he get them customized and he bring it to them directly.
That's dope.
Yeah,
shout out to him.
I've never seen nothing like
Smiles,
that.
you said, right?
Smiles, yeah. Shout
out to the homie Smiles, man, and the personalized Bibles. On a side note, right? I was gifted a Quran, and I'm very interested in reading it. but I want to follow the correct procedures to read a Quran, because the homie that gave it to me, shout out to the bro. It was actually a bro at MTK. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he gave me the Bible, and he tells me before you read it, you have to cleanse and wash and be pure of mind and body, and then read it. And I really look forward to reading it one day. I just got to get pure of mind and body, bro. But shout out to that, man. Shout out to the brother Smiles. Shout out to anybody out there doing their Bible thing, doing their church thing. Shout out to the Nation of Islam. Let's get into a debate that is currently raging on Twitter. Well, we're going to get into two debates. Let's start with the first one. Immatic versus Get Rich or Die Trying. The question is, which album had the greatest impact on the culture?
See,
you can go first.
My opinion going to be personal, man. I'm a G-Unit fan, right? Lloyd Banks my favorite rapper.
Shout out to Lloyd Banks.
Definitely. And had the opportunity to meet him. Dope. He shouted me out and all that. It was dope.
Yeah, I did see that video.
Yeah, that was amazing, man. Nas' imprint is a staple, especially in the 90s. But when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, I was 10. And I know how I felt about wanting to wear a bulletproof vest at 10 years old. I can't lie, man. 50 impact was different, man. Like, personally, I'm going to go with Get Rich or Die Trying.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
What about you, man?
Cultural impact. I would actually have to go with. I think Get Rich or Die Trying had more of an immediate cultural impact, because when it dropped, it was the highest selling debut of an artist.
Yeah.
It was the launch of G Unit, and almost kind of like the launch of Shady as an imprint.
Yes.
50 was the biggest thing in hip hop, so all of a sudden you saw a lot of people imitating or trying to be like 50 or have a 50-ish sound. So I think he had a greater immediate impact. Nas's impact with Illmatic wasn't immediate. He didn't come out the gate selling big numbers and shit.
He didn't sell, but he did get wide critical acclaim.
Right, but at that time we weren't in a time of that acclaim being so spread so quickly.
Okay, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The internet didn't exist.
Yeah, the internet didn't exist, so probably, The Source loved it, and
Rolling Stone and
like
Vibe, Double XL.
New York loved it.
It was
you know what I'm saying?
So,
I can't confidently say that motherfuckers in Oklahoma was playing Illmatic or Arkansas was playing Illmatic the way I'm pretty sure motherfuckers was playing 50s.
So, but
now, hold on. Let me
ahead.
finish the thought. But throughout time, Illmatic has to have the greater cultural impact, because that shit is heralded as not only one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time, it's one of the greatest albums of all time that's been studied in Harvard and Yale and broken down lyrically every line as if it was a Shakespearean.
It's in the Library of Congress.
Exactly. So Get Rich or Die Trying had the better immediate impact. That year was 50. There's no debating about that. But Illmatic had the greater long-term impact.
Okay.
In my opinion.
So, I mean, the thing between us two, and that differs between our guest, I was already a teenager when Illmatic came out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, just like you
you was probably like 30 years old already.
Facts, yeah. Big facts. You dick. Nah, but like the thing is, like, that was in our formative years. So
correct.
I think we will probably side more with that. Even though I remember when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, and like what I'm trying to get at is we were lucky enough to see both, like in basically our formative years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the impact for Get Rich or Die Trying, true, it was more immediate, and it also benefited from the internet. And the early stages, like where Immatic didn't. And like you said, it was a slow burn, and then eventually it became what it is, known to everybody today. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. Like, it did suffer from the fact that there was no widespread media coverage of it, and it was a slow burn.
Right.
But eventually it became the magnum opus that we all know it to be.
Would Illmatic be a classic if it came out today?
No. It's not in line with what's going on today.
Not only in the sense of it's not in tune with the sound of today, but because it was such a slow burn, it wouldn't have even gotten the opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, albums come and go so quickly now. that a classic album might live 3 weeks before something else drops.
That's
or,
true.
You know,
that's true.
So I don't think Immatic today would even get the opportunity to. And there's so much music out there, bro. I think I read yesterday that 60,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify every day.
Right, I've seen that.
That's mad songs in a week. Like, there's no way to listen to all the music.
Yeah.
So I think Illmatic would get drowned if it came out today.
Yeah.
But luckily, Nas is not putting out Immatic today. He's putting out King's Disease 1, 2, and 3, and I heard 4 is on the way, and he put out Magic. Do y'all think Nas is in his second or third career by now?
You know, once I seen him do the record with it's ASAP Ferg and is it Fabio? It's somebody else on that record.
Yeah, Spicy, was that the name of the record? Spicy?
Yeah,
the Uptown shit, right?
Yeah. That made me realize, yo, he rebirthing again.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh, like a lot of people don't grow with the time.
Right.
Like it's very rare people that can go in every aspect of the culture. And I honestly think Fabulous was the best at it, in my opinion.
Right.
Like,
yeah, he had it covered.
I always think Fab was underrated, bro. I think he had a little span of 2 to 3 years where he was actually the best shit in New York. He would have been the king of New York.
Right. Like, and not to like throw the curveball with this, but the reason why I say Fab is because when I really thought back to Fab's career, the DJ Clue mixtapes, and then there was no artist that was like a hardcore hip hop artist that got on the record with B2K when they did the You Got Served soundtrack.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I was like, and then
he could bounce.
He did the basketball with Lil Bow Wow, and then he make a mixtape with Jadakiss. Like, how many people can really dip in different age groups and all that? Like, that's mean.
Not only that's and then be widely accepted at both. Like, you could do the street shit, but then you could go ahead and do B2K and all that, and still
like
be dope
the soul
at both.
tape. People look at you like, oh, now your conscious are like, like he definitely, I think, did it the best throughout time.
Yeah, I fuck with Fab big time, and I'll always think he was underrated. I think to this day he is underrated. I'm a little disappointed he hasn't really dropped nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, label stuff. I'd like to believe.
I'd like to, and I'm also a little disappointed that Fab has never really dropped that classic album, similar to Jadakiss. They have dope albums. They have classic songs, classic freestyles. To me, the Friday Night Freestyles, Fab and DJ Clue, that shit is a 5-mic project. I don't give a fuck. I can listen to that shit anytime and just let it rock on repeat. If it starts over, I'm okay with that.
Facts.
But shout out to Fab, bro. Come back. Drop some fire shit, man.
Yeah, he went nuts on that shit.
Let's go to part 2 of the current debate that is happening. And this is actually going to be a 2-part question. Okay. They say Eminem has nothing equivalent to Illmatic. Do y'all agree or disagree? Album-wise.
That's difficult to say, man. Charts don't lie. And what that man has done, the 8 Mile Project, I'm trying to think, like.
I love that project.
Damn.
That soundtrack?
Yeah. That was
I really like that project.
Like, his soundtrack is bigger than some people's albums that came out around that time.
Yeah.
Like, these are things that you can't leave out when you talk about impact. I don't know. I might have to come back on that one. That's
all right, BS, let's go to you. Does Eminem have anything equivalent to
culturally?
Eminem?
No, he doesn't. But sonically, like, as far as changing music and the way shit sounds and even the way it's made, I would have to agree with that. Like, he did when he came in, he was different. It was the thing is, I was watching this interview with Melly Mel, and he's like, these rappers are not great because when they come out and they drop something that they deem great, the next day nothing changes. Everything stays the same.
Right.
He did give examples like when Nas came out, when Immatic came out, everything changed after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I'll put another one in there. When Life After Death came out, everything changed after that. Music wasn't the same after that. Same thing with Eminem, I agree. And even 50 Cent, when he came out, he had that impact where once he came out, nothing was the same after that. Everything had to change. Yeah, and you had to follow, like, not follow, but fall in line. Otherwise, you were going to die. You weren't going to survive. You weren't going to be a successful artist.
All right. Now, let me name, like, 3 artists. And you just say yes or no if you feel like things change after them.
Right.
Lil Wayne.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Because I think Wayne is one of the most overrated rappers ever. The younger generation gets
listen,
upset.
I used to have arguments about this, about Banks being better than him. In high school, I used to go back and forth, but I did have to give him his credit when I started listening to his mixtapes. I was like, yeah, he just like Eminem, slant rhymes, bent rhymes. Like he make words rhyme that I'd be like, damn, I didn't even think of that.
And he has a dope way of saying simple shit, but like it sounds good.
Yeah.
So I don't discredit Wayne. Like,
Gotcha.
I know he's dope and he has a cult fan space. Just to me personally, I don't think he's the greatest rapper alive. I wouldn't even put him probably top 10.
Let me ask you, this might be a little weird, but when Soulja Boy came out, do you feel like music, like it changed a generation?
Yes, but not on the musical tip.
Right.
I think Soulja Boy taught the generation that you could use the internet to succeed.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nobody wanted to make Soulja Boy music per se. I think we're feeling that more so now.
Mm-hmm.
I think his music catalog is being mimicked now more so than back then. But he definitely taught not only artists, he taught labels. He taught the music business.
Definitely.
Like, yo, this is a whole new fucking lane that
Right.
you could get rich off of. And he did. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'd say yes.
So yeah, he didn't change music, but he changed the industry.
Yeah, he changed the way music
One thing
is
about,
consumed.
like when y'all said Eminem, I'm really trying to think of artists that when they came out, that something changed about the patterns of how you make music, how you put it out. Okay.
It's not many though. You gotta remember.
That's what I was thinking. And last two I was
going
gonna say was Drake and Pop Smoke. Do you feel like the way that people approach, but
I'd say yes to both.
yeah.
Drake, he made vulnerable hip hop tolerable. You know what I'm saying? Before him, it wasn't common for artists to be so vulnerable so often.
The only and to your response to what you just said, the only other person that was doing that, and Drake got it from him, was Kanye.
Yeah.
Kanye was the one that was like, yo, I'm not the drug dealing criminal thug dude.
Right.
I'm me, college, the college dropout. I wear fucking Louis Vuitton fucking backpacks.
But
I think Drake took it a level further. Because Kanye was, I'm Kanye, I'm not a drug dealer, but I'm still dope as fuck.
Yeah.
And Drake was like,
no, I'm Kanye. I'm Drake the same.
Drake, and I'm a simp.
Drake definitely made it seem like it was more cool to cry about your ex leaving you or something.
Exactly.
Crying in the car
and I fuck with Drake. I'm a big Drake fan,
definitely.
I get down with all that simpy shit.
Yeah.
And who was the other one? Oh, Pop Smoke. Hell yeah, because you know how many fake Pop Smokes are there out there right now? In New York, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, all over New York, and then a little bit outside.
Do you feel like drill is fading right now, or do you feel like it's still in there?
I think it is fading, but I think it's the fault of the artists. Because they all keep getting locked up or killed and shit. Like, any artist that starts getting a little buzz and starts, growing their fan base within fucking 6 months to a year, they're either RICO charged up or they done been killed. So it's hard to continue to support a genre where the top faces are being replaced so quickly.
Got it.
Because look at Chicago Drill. Chicago Drill been popping for 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years before this shit happened.
Yeah, because their artists don't necessarily die. King Von died.
Chief Keef was one of them too. Like he actually played Chief Keef great part and
super alive and super doing it. So they've survived where these New York artists, got Lord help them, bro. They don't seem to survive, bro.
That's understood.
Damn, you hear the birds?
Yeah, hell yeah.
They agreeing with you.
Word.
Yeah, and to me, drill, there's a lot of negativity, especially New York drill. There's a lot of negativity attached to it. So people eventually don't want to deal with that anymore. It's cool for the moment. Yeah, we get turned and this and that, but eventually people don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to go away from
I love
that
drill. I love how it sounds in the car because they use the heavy basses and the heavy 808s. I love that shit. So I still listen to old pop, old Fabio and shit, but new stuff. I was super into K-Flock. I thought he was going to be the next big thing, and now he's in jail for a murder, and they hit him with a RICO charge on top of that, so he's likely not to come out for 30 years. No more K-Flock, bro. So, yes, unfortunately, drill is fading because these artists got to chill the fuck out, bro.
Yeah.
Let me get back to the question, and I want to ask y'all the second part of the question. Why does Eminem get so much hate lately?
Because he's white.
Can you call Blood on your phone? Yeah. For some reason on the internet, specifically on Twitter, and I love Twitter. I say this all the time. I fuck with Twitter. I get all my information. Twitter is my source. Lately, Eminem gets a lot of hate, bro. I don't know if it's because he's white. They say that he don't have no classic albums. He raps but don't say shit. He sells because he's white. If he was black, he wouldn't be, as successful. So why do y'all think he gets this hate? Because I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it is. They say hip hop has no face to it. They say it's a way of living, right? The hip hop culture. But I do think it is a little judgment to act on that. It's not fair, because honestly, if you're good at what you do, and it's not like he's not who he say he is, as far as like he's one of the most. When I even approaching the Transparent Project, like the inspiration behind it of what I would listen to would be a Eminem, J. Cole, and Joe Budden, because I know all of them didn't put their life on the table.
You done said the magic word. My favorite rapper, Joe Budden.
Joe Budden.
Oh, nice, nice. Jersey.
He's another one that he might have predated Drake on the emo vulnerable vibes. Actually, now that we speak on it, he didn't.
Mood music.
He didn't get as popular and it didn't go as crazy as Drake, but he might have really launched that. Real quick, Blood, welcome to the show.
What's cracking? What's going on, my bros?
Everything's good, man. We're here with the brother Pressure OnLine. We talking Eminem and why he gets so much hate. Real quick, before you answer that question, let me ask you a question. Who had the greater cultural impact, Illmatic or Get Rich or Die Trying?
Oh, Immatic, definitely.
And why?
Without an Immatic, there would have been no Get Rich or Die Trying, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. Get Rich or Die Trying when it came out, it was something else. It knocked everything out the box and it shifted the hip hop culture. But Illmatic, as it stands, created the actual culture that we recognize now as quote unquote underground and lyricism and everything else, in my opinion. It elevated what Rakim and what Kool G Rap were trying to do.
Dope. You're actually the second person to say without Illmatic there would be no Get Rich or Die Trying. So shout out to that, man. To catch you up real quick, we just been talking with the brother Pressure OnLine. We spoke Illmatic versus Get Rich or Die Trying. We're talking about Eminem. They said on Twitter Eminem does not have an Illmatic. You got any thoughts on that? He does not have anything equivalent to Illmatic. Obviously, he don't have an Illmatic.
That's it's one of those, I guess it's subjective because some people can say the Slim Shady LP, but then you're comparing it to Illmatic. Not everyone has an Illmatic. The only things, in my opinion, that you can compare to Illmatic are like Reasonable Doubt, obviously, Ready to Die. There's not too many albums that are Illmatic, but I think Eminem's classic album would be the Slim Shady LP. And then Marshall Mathers LP was hot too. So what I want to say about that is that people are bugging that he doesn't need an Illmatic is what I'm trying to say. He's that's he didn't need it.
What's y'all favorite Eminem album?
I guess Google first.
I always mix these two up, but the one I got, The Way I Am, is my favorite. I love that.
That's Marshall Mathers.
Yeah. That was
how about you?
2000. Yeah. Yep.
The Eminem Show.
The Eminem Show. Blood?
Marshall Mathers LP.
Marshall Mathers. Okay. Yeah. I lean towards Marshall or the Eminem Show, except that 8 Mile soundtrack I think beats them both.
Wow.
But it's not an Eminem solo. It has other.
Right.
It's got that 50 joint. It's got a Lloyd Banks joint. That's crazy. Yeah. I really fuck with that album. All right, let's move on. Former President Trump announced that on Tuesday he will be arrested for campaign fraud or something like that.
Yeah.
He said that he didn't say the word protest, but he said that we need to kind of like strike back or fight the regime.
Isn't that what he said on January 6th?
Any thoughts on this happening? I love Trump,
Yeah.
Not as a politician, he could be racist.
Nah, as a
he
character,
might be a sexist. Yeah, but
as a character,
I fuck with him so much.
I think this is a perfect example of how far money could go.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my simple opinion on that.
Now, Biden said no one is above the law. In my country, his exact words were, in my country, no one is above the law. Do y'all believe that? No one is above the law?
Nah. I don't.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I think money could buy it. If you have enough of it, it could buy you out of anything.
You can buy your way in and out of anything.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it's more like a relative statement as opposed to all encompassing. Basically, what he's trying to say is, if you're targeted and you did something wrong, then you're in trouble. But if you under the radar, it is what it is.
See,
good money if you're under the radar.
I gotta agree with him with like, no, in my opinion, there are people that are above the law, but it's like he just said, if they want you, they're gonna get you, no matter how much money you got. When they want you out of here, you out of here.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. When they want you, it doesn't matter if you're guilty or not guilty.
That's what I mean. It doesn't matter whether you're guilty or not. Don't matter how much money you got. Once they want you out of here, you gone, and that's it. They ain't no. So,
True.
In a way, yeah, there are people that are above the law, but they make the rules, fam.
If Trump gets arrested on Tuesday, will they riot?
That's wow.
Because remember now, it'll happen in New York.
Yeah.
And New York is different, bro. New York is heavily monitored. You know, fucking cameras everywhere. You can't enter the state without your picture being taken, your toll information being taken. So will they riot in New York?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
NYPD is crazy.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
They'll protest. They won't riot because what happened
cities.
on January 6th, all those people got made an example of.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing.
Nobody wants to go to jail for 13 years just because you're out there busting some shit up. You know what I'm saying?
For Trumpito.
That's
Exactly.
All right. Speaking
I
of,
don't think he'll be arrested though.
you don't think he'll be arrested?
I don't think so.
You think he'll turn himself in?
I just don't think he'll be arrested. I think something's gonna happen. They're gonna say, hey, whatever. They'll work something out, and until there's a trial, I doubt he'll be arrested. But it's possible. But I just don't see it.
Oh,
I felt that behind the scenes. I definitely felt that.
That's definitely a possibility. Speaking of arrest warrants, they say that an arrest warrant has been issued for Vladimir Putin, in regards to war crimes.
Yeah.
What y'all think about that?
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, man. When I see the actual
I heard he's
warrant,
dying.
That's what I heard.
I've
And
heard
that's the
something.
whole reason behind this war. This is his statement, his last gasp, basically. Like, when he's done, it might be done.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I have to say this. If this is his last gasp, go ahead and die, my bro, because you're failing terribly. I would have thought Russia would have conquered the Ukraine in a month or less. I don't believe the Ukraine is still standing and actually putting up a hell of a fight and possibly even winning the war. Like, I don't know much about Ukraine and Russia and why they're beef and whatever the case may be. I know Russia wants some land to the ports, boom, boom, boom. I know Russia's a richer country and more well-armed and prepared than Ukraine. Right. But Ukraine out there kicking ass.
Yeah, but
shout out to them, but
Ukraine kicking ass because we're helping them.
Which is a different topic because supposedly we weren't supposed to get involved, but we continue to give them billions of dollars and
supplies.
And,
all that shit, yeah.
That's how it be, favor for favor.
Yeah, bro. I don't like, I'm going to go on record here. I don't like that president of Ukraine, bro. I think he be stunting too much. I think he's all about the cameras. Wasn't he on Saturday Night Live or some shit?
Was he?
He
was somewhere high profile.
I think they had a video of him at the Grammys or at the Oscars. Like, he be popping up like he's a celebrity. Like, yo, your country's at war. What are you doing? That his wife was shopping or some shit in Louis Vuitton. I seen some video.
Well, that's because all the women were allowed to leave Ukraine when the war started. All the men, I think 18 to 65, had to stay. Every woman and child was allowed to leave.
Oh, so they say that the arrest warrant is related to taking children from the Ukraine, like kidnapping children.
Oh, I did hear that.
I did see something like that, yeah.
So if that's the case, definitely lock them up because that's fucked up.
Right.
But also, there's no fucking rules in love and war. So is that a punishable action? Is war? You're supposed to do shit like that.
Again, like I said earlier about the law and all that.
You can't tell me there's rules to war, blood. I know there's rules to war, like that exists, but yo, there's no way you can make a war and tell me there's rules. That's like saying, yo, we gonna fight, but don't hit me in my face.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Again,
there are war crimes though that people have been guilty of. Like, you can't, like when we was in Vietnam, we just couldn't go over and kill everyone, and that's what people, a lot of the United States troops were being charged for. Same thing with an international situation. Like there's United Nations and there's a war tribunal, and you can't just do anything, just because you're at war.
I think I personally, as a warrior, find that to be insulting.
As a warrior.
No doubt, that guy. Nah, but it's like I was saying before. When they want you out of here, like they want Putin out. They want him gone.
Why?
Because he's dangerous, and they can't control him.
Why is he dangerous? Huh? Because he went into Ukraine while?
Because he does what he wants. He's a Russian billionaire.
What about my man in North Korea that does what he wants? This motherfucker, they said he banned leather jackets in the country because he ain't want people trying to dress
I'll tell you why they're not going after him, because he's not as much of a threat as Putin is.
He said he got nuclear bombs that could hit us.
He said that shit. There's no proof of that. And they tried it.
Well, like the one day he decides to prove it, we fucked.
He did try to prove it, and he failed miserably every time.
One day he gonna succeed.
Well, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think the U.S. has tabs on him, and they're not worried about him. They're worried about Putin because of all the nukes he got.
Right.
And what if he's on his deathbed and he just be like, "That's it. I'm about to die in about 2 hours. Let's get this fucking let's end this shit."
I'll respect that.
I
agree.
Like, I know it's fucked up and we'll all be dust, but if you got the power to be like, yo, I'm finna die,
and that's why they want him
y'all
out.
Fuckers with me, I kind of dig that.
But that's why they want him out.
Sucker shit. Yeah. That's why I don't fuck with Trump, because he's on some sucker shit.
All right, so let's move on to some.
Let people be, man. Like what's the point of it? You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna be your legacy, that you fucking ruined the world. Get the fuck out of here. Man.
There's no legacy if you hit the button. That's it. History's
people are gonna survive. Not everyone's gonna fucking die. It's not really.
You never know.
DEFCON 3 or whatever, or 5 is not really the end of the world. It's just mass chaos. But you know what I'm saying? There's people that's gonna survive.
Yeah, but I think if he launches the nukes, then everybody's gonna launch the nukes, and we all finna die.
Yeah,
that's what I think personally. Yeah. But also, I saw something on the internet the other day that said something to the effect of like, if the Earth was hit by a meteor today and everything was destroyed, everything was destroyed. There's a history of nothing.
Yeah,
right.
Then like. There's history of nothing. Like, people would start over and none of this shit would be remembered. Nothing, Hove, Trump, Putin, Russia, dinosaur, whatever. None of that shit would fucking matter or even exist until way later when they do the fossils and they start finding crazy shit. Like, yo, that's an ill thought to have, bro, that at any moment the whole history of civilization that we know could be erased.
I don't think it's that easy. But that's just me. They're looking at a meteor that's supposed to hit Earth in like 25 years from now, and it's only the size of a swimming pool. So imagine some huge shit coming our way. We'd be able to tell years before, and they'd prepare for it. Whether it's like in a movie destroying the meteor, or putting people on a fucking spaceship and sending them somewhere else,
or the bunkers. They got them.
Yeah, bunkers. I mean,
bunkers.
A big ass meteor hits the planet and destroys the planet. You might not be able to hide in a bunker, but what I'm just saying is, there's ways to prevent mass destruction from a meteor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I'm thinking, if it's not prevented, if it happens, like, it'd be ill, and we don't even know how many times that might have potentially already happened.
I was reading some shit, and there's a chart that I forgot what, it might have been NASA, and there's a chart of the world, right? It's a map of the world, and it's got a bunch of dots on it, right? I mean, like thousands of dots on it. That's all the times we've been hit by meteors since 1994.
Damn.
No, I'm sorry, 2004, and it's thousands of fucking dots on the map.
So those are all like little joints.
Like little sprinkles. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
If the big joints.
So, like, think about it. Like, when is it that we're going to get hit with the big one? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're getting hit with all this
or the bomb or the meteors, bro.
Yeah, we're fucked. We're done.
That's why I say live your life and be happy. Don't worry about Trumpito. Don't worry about Putin.
We need Robert Townsend, be media man.
Damn, or Bruce Willis. Shout out to Bruce Willis, bro. Battling dementia, man.
Yeah,
Big shout out and love to him.
Crazy.
Let's get into some non-suckers and some actual winners. Shout out to Princeton. Shout out to FDU out of New Jersey. Big upsets. FDU last night, number 16th ranked in the NCAA tournament, beat the number 1 team. Check out this stat in the last 3 years, I believe.
Yeah.
If not in the last 3 years,
right?
the last
Arizona?
Arizona. The last 3 teams that were either number 15 or 16 that beat a number 1 ranked team. Potentially, it happened within the last 3 years. I could be wrong about that part, but they're all from New Jersey. So big up to New Jersey, St. John, not St. John's. Who was it last year? St. Peter's.
St. Peter's.
Yeah.
St. Peter's. Shout out to them.
Year,
And previous,
Jersey
I think
City.
there was someone else, and now FDU. So shout out to Jersey. Shout out to these big teams.
The
0
underdogs, baby.
perfect. What are they called?
Brackets.
Tickets. Brackets. Tickets.
Oh, brackets. Yeah.
You know, before March Madness, everybody fills out their shit.
Brackets.
All right, 0
Bracket bust.
perfect brackets exist right now out of 20 million.
Damn, there you go. Yeah.
Yesterday, it was 0.12. FDU wiped everybody else.
Fucked everybody up.
No more perfect brackets.
Wow.
FDU's no joke, bro.
I'm going to start betting. I slacked betting these past 2 days. I forgot March Madness was happening.
Yep.
Yo, if I would have struck with my strategy of betting underdogs,
Yeah, you would have.
I'd have been fucking balling, man.
You'd have hit,
Shout out
you'd
to
have
that. Speaking of underdogs, the WBC World Baseball Classic is happening right now. Yesterday, Mexico beat Puerto Rico. That don't matter because 2 or 3 days before that, Puerto Rico beat DR
Fuck you, nigga.
in the biggest ass whooping of 2023. Wiped them out. I think it was like 23-2, something like that. My memory serves me.
Celebrate, because look at what happened to the closer, Edwin Diaz. Unfortunately, not that I'm not saying nothing about it. I'm not gloating or anything like that, but they just couldn't celebrate the win.
Can you tell me what happened, Bludshot?
Okay, so Edwin Diaz comes out to his song. You know his song that Nas did the
My shit, hell yeah.
Cartel.
My Last Breath, yeah, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, Cartel.
whatever.
Still the hardest song in New York.
Yo, he just kills us, bro. 3 batters up, 3 batters down.
As it should be.
Nothing. Like he got that crazy I think is a changeup that he got that nobody can hit.
Right.
The last batter, I forgot his name, man. It's not Julio Rodriguez. The last batter,
Luzio Rodriguez.
But they won the game. Not 5 seconds later, they're celebrating, and I guess he took like an awkward hop, and he twisted his knee.
Yeah.
And he had to be taken out in a wheelchair. Poor dude. Again, he's like one of the best closers. He might be the best closer in the game right now. He plays for the New York Mets.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he might be done for the season.
No, he's done. He's done for
Really?
the season. He tore his patella tendon, and he's out for 8 months. Well, he had the surgery yesterday. Recovery from that surgery is 8 months. 8 to 10 months.
Didn't
Poor
KD
dude.
rupture his patella tendon previously?
He didn't. No, I think he messed up his Achilles or some shit like that.
Oh.
Or his ACL or something.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Well, do y'all know who Mexico is playing? Is Mexico in the finals now?
I don't think so.
Or did they make the Final Four?
It's hard to keep track of it because I've Googled the matchups, and it's hard to keep track of it. But I know they might have advanced to the semifinals.
I thought that was what I read. So is Puerto Rico out now?
Yeah, Puerto Rico's out.
Oh, then I don't care no more. All right, let's get to our artist. Pressure Online. Jersey City MC extraordinaire. I just found out, he just informed us earlier, Blood, that he's also a director. He does a lot of camera stuff. What was the first passion? Which of the two came first?
Music, definitely.
When did you start on your musical journey?
I started out doing poetry probably around when I was 6th grade, middle school. About 11 years old, I was doing poetry, but I have recorded my first song also when I was 11, 12, something like that. And it wasn't like what I sound like now,
right?
But it was a try.
It
You know what I mean?
It was a starting point. When you say you recorded your first song, you went to a studio and recorded?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, recorded it, and it was so long ago that it was on a floppy disk.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Oh, so you know about floppy disks?
Yeah, man, I've been around.
So, do you remember what inspired you to begin writing poems or making music?
My second grade teacher, we used to do all the, like, I didn't even know poetry had so many different formats. And I was like, yo, this is interesting. So my aunt one day, is me, my aunt, I think a relative, a cousin, and my mother, we had went downtown New Jersey. And you know, I used to have like the bootleg stands out there with like
my favorites,
the how to be an MC instrumentals, all these different things. They had the 50 Cent instrumentals. As me being the G Unit fan,
right.
I told my aunt I wanted the 50 Cent instrumentals. Now at this time, I didn't even know what the word instrumentals meant. That was a big word for me back then. I knew beats.
So you thought you was getting an actual beat,
I thought it was
or something.
When I say I thought it was a collaborative joint where you see all 50 joint. We popped that thing in the CD player on the way.
No words.
I was like, this guy bonked us. Like, hold up, something not right.
He just gave us beats.
My aunt wanted to bring the CD back, and I told her, nah. I said, nah, I'm going to keep it. And what I did was I went back home, and I remember, like, performing it as if I was 50, right? Saying the lyrics. And then I was like, let me incorporate what I have. And then from there, that's how I learned how to count bars. And I taught myself structure of a 16 bar, like where the hook should come in at, listening to the beat properly. Right. So it started from the instrumental CD.
That's what's up, man. I love artists who go and actually study the format of song structure. A lot of artists, and I recently heard a story from Trackmasters when they said they recorded I Shot Ya, that they brought Foxy in, and Foxy didn't know how to rap excuse me.
She didn't know how to count
Foxy
bars.
was excellent at rapping. She didn't know how to count bars. That's why on that song, she has more bars than anybody else.
Yeah.
So I love to hear about artists going back and actually studying. And I know that the poetry, your second grade teacher, you said, she taught you about the different like ABs, sonnets, and
couplets, limericks, if I'm saying it right. Yeah. It's so many different.
So then you incorporate
approaches.
that knowledge with the knowledge that you're giving yourself now of counting bars and hook and pre-hook.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
The case may be.
And bringing up 50 too, which I tell you is interesting. Every artist back in the day had like 3 verse songs.
Yes.
Even if 50 had that, what I never noticed, and I swear I learned this from Give It to Die Trying, you hear it on In the Club, If I Can't, certain records, he'll do one verse, the hook, and go straight to a bridge and then start the second verse. So the second verse would be 12 bars. His format was different, and that Drake does it too. Like when I heard the song Energy, I was like, his verse is only 8 bars. And you don't think about it because you just in the groove of it.
Just listening to it.
I had to learn, man.
But that little mini bridge is what gets stuck in your brain and shit.
Like, he did my flow, my show. And I was like, that's not the second verse. They're like, no, that's a bridge. It's like a breakdown. And I was like, damn, because usually people do breakdowns by the third verse somewhere. And I was like, wow, it's all about keeping people's attention, and flow is everything.
And making it memorable, because who doesn't remember that 50 shit?
Yeah.
It makes the song feel smaller than it is, like, you know, in terms of time-wise.
More concise.
Keep hearing it again, you know, because you're not getting killed to death by bars and shit in between.
I was gonna say he most definitely did that on purpose, because he's like, if I'm gonna make a 3-minute song, I'm not gonna give you 3 verses. I'll give you this one dope verse, the bridge, and then the second verse, and we're done with it.
Right, and plus if the radio cut it off, then you already got majority of your point across. You know.
And if he didn't have that knowledge, he had Dre there to fucking school him.
Yeah, he said that he learned that from Jam Master Jay.
Really? Wow. Yeah, another legend. Really? Rest in peace, Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So after you recorded your first song, you're still young, teenish, right? Like
correct.
12, 13 or so.
Not even in high school yet. Yeah.
Did you continue to write and record?
Definitely. I was working on mixtapes back in the day. A lot of people don't know what Radio Shack is. I went to Radio Shack.
Wait, before you move on, shout out to the bootleggers. I miss y'all. That was my favorite shit. Yo, I used to go to the bootleggers, and that was when you could get obviously like 5 for $20, or if you bought 10, it'd be even
DVDs,
more.
Yep.
Yeah, so you know you would get all your hip hop shit, but then the really good bootleggers, they would have some rock shit.
Yeah.
They would have some Latin shit. They would have some pop shit. So they was like iTunes before fucking iTunes, and I used to get all my dope like. You know, hip hop was a little regional still back then, so you could find like, oh shit, this is the Chicago shit I was looking for. Oh shit, boom, boom. Yeah. So shout out to all the classic bootleggers, man, and shout out to Radio Shack too. I used to fuck with Radio Shack heavy, bro.
Me too,
yeah, so I had went there back in the day. I don't want to say like I'm that old, but I started very young, so for me it's like a minute ago. But went to Radio Shack, had got me like it was like one of them. it was like a pencil mic. It was like, you know how they used to have the webcams and
yeah.
Man, I had a mic that was like, couldn't have been no more than $30. It was USB, plugged it up. I had a Dell computer at the time, and I was recording on a program called Cool Edit Pro. This is before
hell yeah, I fuck with Cool Edit Pro.
We all used to fuck with that shit.
Yeah, I was rocking on that joint before Cakewalk and all that. Man,
Cool Edit Pro used to do some fly shit though.
Man. Yep, I used to get busy on that.
Program, hell yeah.
So that's how I started out, man, with the Radio Shack, and I started learning how to record myself on tracks. I didn't know how to compress, EQ, and none of that. And man, it helped me get into the hands of some multi-platinum producers by the name of the Dream Team, and they work with 50, LL. They was from Jersey,
right?
They in Atlanta now, but they actually switched their name to Three Kings. But they helped me out tremendously at by the time I'm 13 now.
That's dope. It's dope to have mentors that know what they're doing and shit.
Definitely. I definitely had a lot of older people around me growing up, so that's why I understand how to carry myself. I understand, like, the do's and don'ts, and they was big on learn your history. We don't care about none of this stuff that's going on right now.
Right.
That's why I'm able to identify what you're saying, so I'm like, yeah.
Right. So you went back and studied the culture of hip-hop.
I had to. Being around them, I had to. Yeah.
I wish more
OGs would do that.
People do. I mean, I wish more OGs would lead the young to do that, and I wish more young people would heed the word and actually go do it and study, study what this culture has evolved from and what it can be,
Right.
We were earlier talking about drill music, and drill music is a popular, prominent genre, it's a subgenre of hip-hop. But back in the day, we would have had something equivalent to drill music. It might have been just called gangster rap or whatever the case may be. Definitely. But then we would have the counterbalance of conscious rap. Mm-hmm. And now I don't feel there's a balance. It's all drill or it's all street. Obviously there's the girl songs and shit, the R&B, the lady songs. Yeah, the popish type songs. But there's not that balance and that variety of flavors like before.
Mainstream wise, yeah.
No, yeah.
Not many.
If you go on the DSPs, of course you can.
Oh yeah,
you can dictate what you want to hear.
Right. But that goes back to what we said earlier. 60,000 songs being uploaded a day. You're never gonna be able to hear everything. So something's always gonna slip under the radar.
Yeah, and again, just like you said, you got the streaming services. But if your knowledge is limited, you're only gonna look for what you know.
Yeah, or what the radio's playing.
Right. But not for nothing. Who fucking listens to the radio anymore?
That was another good thing about the bootleggers, B. They would tell you, like, yo, this is the hot shit right here. This got the new shit. This got the new 50 on it. You be like, word, this is unreleased? Yeah. Shout out to 50 too, man. He actually, when he first started, after he got shot that he came back to music, he used to go fuck with the bootleggers. And he wanted them to bootleg his shit. And they ended up getting money together, and that helped him expand his reach.
Yeah, that's deep.
So shout out to that, man. Let's get into the first project, Silent Screams 2014. Before we get into the actual project, tell me about that title.
Silent Screams. When I made that project, it's crazy, man. It's almost 10-year anniversary on that.
Word. Congrats too.
You know what it is? Thank you. Word. You know what it is? For that duration of when I was working with Dream Team, and they was helping me out. This like 2009 when I was doing records with Ransom and everybody in Jersey.
As a young rapper, right? Like you hadn't been rapping crazy long.
Yeah, I was. When I did the joint with Ransom, we got the video and Loaded Lux. I was 15, 16.
Shout out to that, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm fortunate, man. Like for real. But I took a little break, and I think when I did Silent Screams, that was about 5-6 years later. That title just come from feeling underrated, feeling like the sixth man on the bench, like knowing what you're capable of, and the guidance and everything that I had to succeed wasn't properly utilizing my resources. So Silent Screams was just screaming in silence. Like I know I'm the young lion, I know what I could do, but I wasn't living up to my fullest potential. I felt like I became more of a mixtape artist in my younger days, where I was cool with just giving a verse, disappearing. I had to learn how to make songs and slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, going back to the 50 in that era, I learned it, but it's like you kind of unlearn those things when you just want to have fun and you want to do quick stuff. So that's what that was about.
What was it that made you realize that you needed to actually go back into reformatting your songs and building that song structure?
That's the interesting part. with the guidance that I had, once they relocated, I semi was on my own. Like, you could quarterback from the phone, but I'm out here in these streets by myself, moving around. I got to go now, talk to the DJs myself. Like, it's certain things that I was used to that I had to, again, unlearn. And that made me feel like, yeah, it's a different ball game now. I'm at that point approaching 21. Like, now you able to get in clubs. It ain't no excuse. Like, if you drop something, every time you go around these events and all, they need to have your music already.
And back then, let's see, was that still CD times?
Yeah,
were you distributing your music?
Yeah, I was going
like
up to I forgot. Lux used to bring Loaded Lux. Shout out to Lux, man. He used to bring me up. I think it was 133rd and 6th Ave or something like that. We used to go to this spot that they burn CDs, all that. You get like 500 CDs for like $200, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, we was burning CDs heavy, printing our name on the joints. Shout out to Shampoo, YNVS. He was bringing me to Times Square Art Center in Manhattan, like having me perform with his son Conan. Like, nice. Yeah, man, it was a great time, man.
Yeah, big shout out to Shampoo. Big shout out to Loaded Lux. Big shout out to the brother Cortez. He got an album dropping soon, Filthy Karma. Make sure y'all go check that out. Shout out, produced entirely by the brother Crisis. Shout out to him. Shout out to the BX. So you did take a break between your first project, Silent Screams, and your next project, which is FEAR, which is an acronym for Finding Excuses and Reasons.
Correct.
What was the cause in that break of releasing music? Did you stop making music, or were you just not releasing anything?
Interesting. So it's layers to that. One was, once I put out that project, 2014, Silent Screams, rest in peace, Fred the Godson.
Absolutely.
He was on that project, and me and him built a great relationship. And he used to always tell me, like, yo, you need to put videos and certain, like, he would give me guidance, like, and I was, like I said, just being so fortunate, having people to tell me what I need to do, but I was still going against the grain. And it's, again, it's that young-minded attitude of, like, I'm out of high school, like, I'm grown now, man. So it's like, man, I'm going to do it when I feel like it. And I didn't understand. It's just like working out. If you stop working out, you're going to deflate.
Yep. Right.
And I didn't want to believe that mentally. But also what happened, I was putting out mixtapes, like freestyles and stuff, between 14 to 20. But that's when I took the camera work serious.
Okay.
Why? Is because now I have to financially support myself at this age. So it was either go get a job and multitask with your career on the side, or do something that's within your career. It wasn't a lot of cameramen at that time.
Right.
I was able to capitalize, and I was getting called for everything. And even if I wasn't putting out music, my logo, my Pressure Online brand was still being stamped on everything moving from here to New York.
And your network was growing.
Exactly. So that's what made it easier for me to, like, over time push buttons with people that I know now.
Right.
You know, so I think what happened was supposed to happen.
And do you still have the love for directing? Is that something you
definitely
still delve into?
Definitely, yeah. My company is growing now where I have, like, cameramen that I can send out and stuff. Like, I started out just doing videos for myself. And when people seen what I was doing in my neighborhood, shout out to Kerry Woods, it became a service. They like, yo, you could do this for, and then I was like, then I can make money from this. And then it spread to the whole Jersey City, and then started moving over to Newark and then New York. So yeah, man, it was a situation where I had to survive. That's all it was.
That's awesome. That's what's up, man. Talk to me about the title, Finding Excuses and Reasons. Let me say I am a fan of the titles of your projects.
Thank you so much, man. Well thought out, too. The acronym for Finding Excuses and Reasons comes in, this is the most interesting thing. Imagine, for the listeners and those that don't know me, right? If I gave you a rundown, right? If I told you a young kid had these producers behind him that were in the industry, blah, 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 and he got songs with Ransom, Loaded Lux, videos, Fred the Godson was on the joint with Bow Wow, all that, and then everything stops, right? 2014 when I did Silent Screams. Now you feel like, dog, I'm this, but my resume or my work ethic is not showing I'm this.
Right.
So as time goes on, the question comes up like, yo, you still rapping? What you doing? What you got going on? So then it's like you find excuses of like, oh, I've been shooting videos lately, man. I've been trying to get to the money. When people like you for what they like you for, and if they believe in you, they don't want to hear that. Right. So I was finding excuses and reasons of why I wasn't where I should have been, where people saw me at in my younger days. Like, by this age, you should have been gone.
And was that a fear?
Definitely was a fear. The fear of, I wouldn't say losing it. It's the fear of
like being forgotten.
No, it's the fear of you doing it all for nothing. As time go on, it's like things happen. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that not have kids or nothing that traumatically happened.
Amen.
Besides my lung.
Yeah,
but
we'll get to that.
Right, but it definitely was like, yo, you don't want to do all this for nothing, and then camera work slow up. Yeah. Right, you know what I mean? So I just had to figure it out.
Yeah, like fruitless labor, and basically.
Yes,
it's a good balance now. You feel?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a good balance now because the importance of having a team and having people now to lean on. I was doing everything myself. Everything, every mixtape I put out, I probably put out 13 mixtapes in that piff, all freestyles.
Right. Shout out to Dat Piff.
Yeah.
There was a rumor going around that after 18 years of service, Dat Piff had shut down and their entire library had been lost.
What?
Dat Piff came out with a statement and said that information is incorrect. They are still active, and all those classic mixtapes, all 13, 14 of Pressure Online's mixtapes are all still available.
I still have the Dat Piff.
Make sure you go support them. Yeah,
yeah.
They're still alive.
It be glitching from time to time. I try to go on it myself, but it's still there.
Yeah, shout out to that, man. Dat Piff will go down as like a library,
the archive
of dope artists before they hit.
And you know what it was? Dat Piff was like, it was like a street version for independent and mainstream artists of what LimeWire didn't continue to do.
Right.
Definitely.
LimeWire. Shout out to LimeWire.
I know people don't know about that either.
LimeWire changed the game. Too,
definitely.
time, man.
They were Spotify before Spotify.
LimeWire gave my fucking computer mad viruses.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
That Piff might be more important. I don't know. There's a controversial statement, but it might be more important than World Star when it's all said and done.
I think so. I'd agree with that. World Star, unfortunately, became a hub for like ratchet shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
More so, Dat Piff was just for the music, bro. And you go back and you find these artists before they were anybody, before they were known. J. Cole's and Wiz Khalifa's, all those just classic material, classic mixtapes. And if I'm not mistaken, Dat Piff never charged $1.
No, it was optional. If you want to sponsor and get on the front page. But it was beautiful.
Shout out to that, man. You touched on your lung collapsing.
Right.
How or why? How did that happen, or what caused it?
All right. Interestingly, years later, because I didn't allow them to take a speck of my lung to actually do research, I was paranoid when this happened, right? For one, I don't smoke, I don't drink, no hookah, pills, nothing. Never did nothing.
Congratulations,
right?
That's dope.
Yeah, congrats,
thank you.
Bro. That's tough.
And I'm laying on that hospital bed trying to figure out, why am I here? I'm like, yo, something is wrong. I'm like, this can't be life. Like, I'm bugging. And what they told me was, the chance of this could be secondhand smoke. I didn't even know that is a real thing.
No, that's a real thing,
it
bro.
is. Yeah.
Were you around a lot of smokers?
Oh,
Probably
yeah, definitely.
In the studios.
Definitely.
Shit, right?
All day. My peers, everybody smoke, be in the car and all that. It didn't bother me.
Right.
I didn't think much of it, but this specific day, I'm feeling weirdness in my chest. I always tell people it's like, imagine you like a robot, right? And somebody take a screwdriver and unloosen your screws. And I remember jogging up the steps to my house, and I'm feeling my chest like it's hydraulics on it. Like it felt weird.
Wow.
This specific one, this was March 29th, 2017. And I actually made a record about it too. It's on the Fear Project. But I'm jogging up steps and I'm feeling weird. And this is the first thing I did. I called my grandmother. Why? I don't know. This is the only person I just decided to call. I told her what I'm feeling. I was like, I'm about to lay down. No. She's like, no, don't lay down. Don't go to sleep. And I wasn't even thinking clear. At this time, I'm like 23. I'm not thinking.
That's why you called her, because she be knowing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Grandmas know.
Gotta love grandma, man.
Oh, yeah.
And she told me don't go to sleep. And what happened was my cousin Taylor Port, who is an artist as well, she went with me to the hospital. And if it wasn't for her, because when you go to hospitals, you start to feel okay after a while.
Yeah, you sit there.
You sitting there for 2 hours.
2-3 hours, yeah.
Like, only thing we did is EKG and, vitals. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go. She took my keys from me, and she stopped me from leaving because I was going to leave. Luckily, she did because they did x-rays and everything and didn't even see nothing wrong, right? I'm going to tell you what happened. It was one nurse. She was bad, too, man. I could never forget how she looked, but I don't know her name. Yo,
shout out to all the nurses. I love you.
Yeah, shout out to the nurses, man. Oh, man. She said randomly, and I think she was assistant, she said, I think we should do an ultrasound on his chest. And I'm thinking that's for pregnant people, so I'm already like, she wilding. Yeah, like, she wanted to rub gel on my chest. I let her. But,
I
she rubbed the gel on my chest, and she did the ultrasound. And when she went to my left side, she could see that my heart was like a little lower than my chest. Like my heart was lower than it should have been. Like towards the rib cage down there. Look. And she's like, this is abnormal. And they ran tests. Like if it wasn't for her with that, they probably would have sent me home. She was smart enough. I don't know if she just got out of school or what. She was smart enough to suggest that. And then that's when they had gave me a chest tube and they had to like vacuum out all that air. It pretty much was like air was trapped in my chest and it separated my lung from the wall. Oof. And it allowed fluid to go around it. And that's what made my lung start to collapse.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And they couldn't get to the bottom of why you just started collecting air?
No, because this is my thing, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. My thing is, look, what's the chance of it happening again? He's like, at your age, less than 10%. That's a lot for me. All right, I ain't doing it. You ain't got to take a piece of my lung.
Yeah.
Listen, I ain't trying to come back here. I never found out.
Oh, you're like me. You hate hospitals and doctors.
Yeah,
and all that shit. I'm the same way.
Well, we are glad you're here, my friend.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And God bless your grandmother, man, because does she have any type of medical training or anything like that?
No,
she got grandma training, bro.
She got grandma instinct.
She got grandma training.
I'm just saying because to tell anybody would have thought maybe if I lay down I'll feel better, this and that, and her like just being who she is and knowing and shit and be like, nah, don't go to sleep because that could fucking kill you.
She just don't play with your chest and your head. Like she just like any of those two react to that.
And never go to sleep with either one because when you catch like a coma, not a coma, like a concussion and shit, they say not.
No, you can't go. You can't go to sleep.
Might not wake up, man.
Yep.
But shout out to the brother Pressure OnLine, still here, survived, looking good, putting out music. Hey, shout out to Grandma.
What up? You said that the person that took you was Taylor Port. That's your cousin,
right? Yeah,
that's your cousin. Yo, she nasty, bro. With
Thank
the
you.
lyrics.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Did she have that name before the wine?
No, she actually. I heard her story, and I hate to tell it for her, but that was the first wine that she ever tasted.
Yeah,
tried, and that's why her people around her, they developed that name for her.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Taylor Port is a wine. It hit the market probably within the last year.
Okay,
and it markets itself as being an 8% wine.
Okay, yeah.
But Taylor Port will kick your ass. Big shout out to Taylor Port. Please send me a case because I love your shit. Yo, you drink 2 cups of Taylor Port and you feeling right. So if your cousin took that name, I hope she's equally as dope. Because that
you listen to 2 tracks, it's going to kick your ass.
Word. Shout out to that, man. Let's get into speaking of fear, you dropped a fear documentary to go along with the project.
Yes.
What made you want to create a documentary?
Simply because one thing I believe in is, what I learned from being on the hospital bed is you look at yourself as athletic or healthy or whatever it be, you would never assume that you would be, hospitalized.
Right. Especially at a young age like that.
Yeah, man. And nobody in my family experienced that. Like, not to put people's business out there, but I know people that do all types of hard stuff. And they walking around here and they okay.
Yeah.
So
they be living long as hell too.
Yeah. So that experience made me feel like I need to tell my story because nobody gonna tell it the way I am.
Right.
And what I did was it's 16 records on the joint, plus 1 skit. But I was making records that were layers to how I felt about the experience during that time and before the time, a little after the time. Because this happened in 2017 with my lung collapse. I put out Fear in 2020, as soon as the pandemic hit. Crazy. It took me 3 years to make it because I wanted it to be as perfect as can be. So when I made the documentary, I just wanted to give a backstory, and I had real footage of me in the hospital, like real stuff, current events at that time, that I was like, yo, there's no way that I'm going to hope someone put this together for me later. It's like, why wait?
And you were scheduled to go on tour and everything, because I did see that.
Yes.
Like right before you got, like a week and a half before you got sick and had to be in a hospital, you were about to go on tour.
Yeah, I was about to go on my first college tour, man. I was tight about that because I had never been on a college tour.
By yourself? Like your own tour?
No, at this time I was under a management that had a couple artists, and they had set that up for us, and it literally was like a week before, and I got shut down, and I was tight, man.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Better to get it right and make the next tour.
Exactly.
God forbid that would have happened while you was on tour. You know what I mean?
Yep.
After Fear in the year 2022. Well, wait. Before we get to that, you dropped Fear right at the beginning of the pandemic. How did you then go about kind of marketing the album? Did you use the pandemic in your favor?
I definitely used the pandemic in my favor because people were sitting still.
Yes.
I would tell you, lack of preparation really went against me when it came to having visuals.
Right.
I only had one video and it was already out.
Right.
So when the pandemic hit, everything shut down the week that I put the project out, which was March 29th, because that's the day I went in the hospital. So I dropped my project on March 29th.
Oh,
3 years later.
Okay, right, because it was 3 years later.
After,
I was going to say, damn, you went into the hospital with a lung thing during COVID? Holy shit, they would have fucking locked you up somewhere. Okay, right, man. True. It was 3 years previous.
Yeah. So March 29th is like a new holiday for me, man, a life. But
yeah, hell yeah, a new birthday.
Actually, it's coming up next week or two.
Next week,
a couple weeks.
Yep. So I'm sorry, what's your question?
The pandemic, how did you use it in your favor?
So being that I didn't have music videos, with everyone sitting still, not following trends or anything, but I had so many different types of songs that I could get different response videos from. So I would literally just ask the people because they had nothing to do. So like, yo, this song, can y'all people do this? This a couple song. And people were sending stuff from all over. I'm talking about states I never been to, countries I never even thought of. And that's what really showed me the impact of the internet. That's when I really learned.
And the internet is a powerful tool. So everybody make sure you learn it and use it.
And that's before even putting marketing dollars or anything into it. It was natural.
Right.
So,
well, you're able to connect with people.
Yes.
Like on a person-to-person level. So their support is going to be authentic and unwavering. So shout out to that, man. Shout out to everybody who hustled during the pandemic. Shout out, although everyone won't agree, shout out to the pandemic, man. That shit taught us a lot. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of miss it, bro. There was no traffic. You got to be home and just chill, and nobody got to talk shit. Man. People made money. People made a lot of money.
Yeah, man.
It was a good time to put out projects, to work on oneself. I'm not commending the pandemic and the results of the pandemic, but I think we all need to sit the fuck down sometime, bro. And you'd be surprised how often you forget to just sit down and, focus on yourself and go within.
I agree with you. I think it was a cleansing period in people's lives where people, for one, got to even sit with their kids more.
Yeah,
like, one thing I noticed, and this is a little random, but
we random. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, we good.
If a kid is in school from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., right, just about, and their mother works overnight or during the day or whatever like that, even if she picks them up from school, she got to get ready for work the next day, right? So kids doing their homework, they want to play games, watch TV, blah, blah, blah. You don't realize, but kids are actually more raised by their teachers than their parents, because 5 days out of 7, they actually spend more quality time with this stranger for a year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the pandemic definitely made me realize, like, wow, you don't even realize, like, you don't even know what people don't know. Like, you don't even know what your kids are really smart about or they lack because you're not there. Yeah. So the pandemic, I think, definitely helped families out.
Yeah, it allowed a lot of bonds to be strengthened or created, but also,
I was just gonna say on the flip side,
a lot of parents realize they don't like their fucking kids, bro.
They don't like their kids, or they don't like each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
They had too much time with them.
Yes.
I read about this.
Relationships didn't work.
I was reading, and they said that you spend you spend more time with coworkers than you do your own family.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, because
that's a
like
fact.
you just said, you're at work 8 hours a day or whatever,
Right?
and you spend 8 hours. That's a third of your day already with this stranger that you would have never known unless you went to work with them, right? So now you're spending 8 hours of your day with this stranger or this person, and then you go home and you spend what 5, maybe 2 to 3 hours with your significant other after you put the kids to sleep and all this and that. The pandemic taught people that, like, I don't like this motherfucker sitting next to me.
Right.
I thought I did.
I could take the 3 to 5 hours.
I could take them for 3 to 5
10-hour shift ain't working.
Yeah.
All day long. You know where to go.
So it had its ups and downs, but I missed the aspect of the world just slowing down for a second and breathing and reflecting and healing and hustling.
Yeah.
I think it was a hard reset.
It's like being locked up for that amount of time, right? Like there's certain brothers that get locked up and they come out mentally strong, physically strong. So some people take advantage of those times. Others don't, unfortunately, but that's kind of what the pandemic was. Everybody kind of just was locked up for a little while and you had to make the most.
Yeah, and some people hustled.
Ironically, he brought that up too because someone told me people in jail wasn't even really fazed by it.
No, because nothing changed.
Yeah, so like not to laugh about it, but it's like damn, that's the bonus of knowing how to do time.
Yeah,
like damn.
The only thing that changed, like you said, for prisoners, some of them got let go.
Yeah,
that's
like the ones with lesser crimes
like
or whatever.
Crimes.
Yeah. They got let go.
Yeah,
they should be thanking the pandemic.
I'd have been locked up. I would have had the asthma. I would have had the whatever, the weak lungs.
Yeah, man.
Allergies, sinus, everything. Yeah, get me out of here, bro. Yeah. Let's get into Transparent 2022 EP, 4 tracks, lead single, The Green Ranger, and I have to ask you why The Green Ranger.
We all know.
All right, so check. When I made Green Ranger, originally the song was called By Myself.
Okay.
And that's what I was shouting out at the end of the record.
Yeah, you do say that,
Yeah.
What happened was I created Green Ranger probably like August of 2021. Like it was on a whole different beat, but the same sample. I love that piano sample. And I was like, yo, I was almost about to rap on Green Ranger on a whole different like type of approach. And I'm going through my archive as I'm putting tracks together to figure out what I want to put out. I was like, yo, these beats the same. I didn't even recognize because I record so much. I'm like, because the drums was different. So it was originally called By Myself. And when the Green Ranger actually passed away, Tommy, you know, from the original Power Rangers, I was like, wow. And what I did was I reflected back on his career because I was a big Power Ranger fan growing up, you know, when I was younger. And I was like, wow. Like when I seen him fighting with the Power Rangers, right? And then you see eventually, you know, he calmed it down. In my time, with what I was going through in my life, I felt like the Green Ranger in the sense of I'm a Ranger, right? So when you're a Power Ranger, you automatically assume that you're the good guy. But in his case, he was the bad guy. So when I made Green Ranger, I felt like the good guy, but I'm considered the bad guy because now I'm being authentic. And now I'm telling people how I feel. Before I was making music to get you dancing, for the relationships and all that. But when you pour out that truth, somebody's not gonna like it.
And I was gonna bring that up too, like the difference and disparity in Fear and Transparent. It's almost like two different people rapping. You understand what I'm saying? Because on Fear, you were vulnerable. You had, you know, songs for the women. You had, you know, a domestic abuse song and all this and that.
Right.
You had all that. But then on Transparent, it almost sounds like you're angry.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of aggression, a lot of angst.
Yeah.
You understand?
You went through something.
Every song. One of my favorites, and this is what I was gonna get to. One of my favorites is No Ceiling. Why didn't you make it longer?
Wow. All right, so I'll tell you something interesting. I didn't expect you to say that.
That I'm making it longer. Pause. But you know.
Nah. Wow, man. Wow, this is interesting. I never said this to nobody.
Okay.
No Ceilings was recorded right before right before my lung collapse.
Really?
Oh.
That's not new at all.
Wow.
And what's crazy is when I was going through my records, the interlude was already like that. And I faded it out.
Right.
I couldn't find the session to it. when I wanted to go back on it.
Oh, okay, that makes
And
sense.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave this as an interlude and just put it out because I never really put out interludes.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna throw that on there. But that's crazy that you said that. I didn't even expect that.
No, that's one of my
But
favorites.
that was supposed to go on Fear like 3 years ago. I just was like, I felt like I covered the bases on Fear. So
keep it real. It fits better on Transparent.
thank you. Wow.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
that's
that,
one of my
man.
favorites actually.
You say you were going through
Your ex must have made you mad.
Whoa, wait a minute. Let's go back to that. I'm going to shut the notebook on that. He said your ex must have made you mad.
I started off like that. It is.
She did.
Something happened. No, he talking about his teen years. Not now. Not now. Yeah, a long time ago.
I know the ex. She did.
She did. He knows. Every time I would have a problem with her, I'd be like, "Yo, Burnz, what you doing?"
Oh man.
But we're here today, so
no, absolutely.
You live and you
100%.
learn and you
Absolutely.
love.
Yeah.
You said you were looking through your songs to see what songs you would put on the project. How many songs do you have in the vault?
That's mixed and mastered, ready to go, or like just incomplete.
I'd say just total. Mixed,
Oh.
mastered, incomplete.
Oh, man,
Something you
it's-
started. Maybe it's just one verse.
Hundreds.
I'm probably at like 200.
Jesus.
Just about 200 records that I ain't put out.
Do you have
Oh, you
records
said
like
in the
that?
vault.
Yeah, in the vault. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not out.
Do you have records that like is one verse and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get back to it?
Yeah, that's what I'm counting. Yeah, definitely.
That's dope.
But completed joints, I probably say I got like a good 40, 60 completed. Because what happens is, one thing about me, I don't force inspiration. If I
Right.
go in and I'm inspired and I make a hook or a verse, I'm like, I don't feel the same when I try to add on to it. So later, it's like I kind of trick myself, like, oh, let me feature on this record. And then I go back and do that second verse.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a dope way to do it.
Hell
With 40 to 60 tracks ready to go, mixed and mastered, you could drop a project basically anytime you want.
Yeah, I could drop a
projects.
couple EPs. A couple EPs. Every month.
Do you have something in mind or something coming down the line that we can expect?
Yeah. It might be a little premature to say this, but I'm gonna work on a Transparent 2.
Oh.
And I'm probably gonna make it a solid 6 song, so it's still an EP. I do want to do I ain't telling nobody this, but I do want to do a Green Ranger Part 2.
Let's go.
People-
Let's do it.
It's it's just a lot going on in my life that I want to broadcast, because
Right.
Oh, okay.
again, when you be humble for so long, there's nothing wrong with it,
Mm-hmm.
but you get overlooked.
Yeah. Sometimes
Absolutely.
it bites you in the ass.
Yeah, it's tricky. So that's why the silent scream, the fear, it all makes sense of how he says transparent is a different person. Because like, yo, when you get older, it's like, how much are you gonna take before you actually volcanically erupt?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
No, you erupted on this one, fam. On Transparent.
As it should be, though. You know.
and I held some back too, man.
Sometimes,
crazy.
sometimes you gotta talk your shit, bro.
No,
Let the
absolutely.
world know.
Plus, it shows your versatility because originally I saw you as that type of lyricist, and then you went into like more of a commercial and more marketability,
Mm-hmm.
and then you reverted back to like just the hunger and I see you like a 360 artist. You know what I'm saying? You could do
Thank you.
pretty much anything. You know what I'm saying?
Similar to that Fab
Almost like
combo
a
we had
50.
earlier.
Yes.
So,
thank
were you on the phone for the Fab combo, Blood? I think you joined us a little later. But
No, he
we
wasn't.
were talking about
I missed it.
how Fab was able to do the street records, but then also the pop records. He could be with B2K, he could be with Bow Wow, and then he could be with Uncle Murder and Hove. And there was no like. He just always fit, bro. Yeah,
he had no
he just always
boundaries.
fit. He didn't have any boundaries. So you see, Pressure Online similar in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I think more like a 50 than a Fabulous. Because 50 can just transform. Like, I don't see Fabulous as being as hood.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely in that vein.
And 50 is one of your favorites, you said, right?
Yeah, the whole camp.
So that's
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
comparison. Yeah. Shout
Yeah,
out to
thank
that.
you. That was deep.
Word.
Word up. Word up. I was
Go
gonna say
ahead.
something else too, because when you asked about In the Vault, and he said that many songs, I thought for some reason, I don't know, I heard like how many do you have released, and I can say this: Pressure Online got so much music, right? Last week I drove from Miami back home to Tampa. That's like a 4 to 5 hour drive.
Yes. Yep.
And basically the whole drive, I heard your music without repeats.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You hear me 4 to 5 hours, I was listening to you, and you had song after song after song after song, and none of them were repeats. I was like, holy shit, like this guy's catalog is bananas.
Wow. I thank you for
Okay,
that.
yeah,
You know what's crazy? I don't even
Props.
feel like I put out as much music as I should sometimes.
Right.
Because I try to let what I put out resonate with people and sit. But, damn, that's crazy. I appreciate that.
Well, again, we live in this microwave era that an album may last a week or two,
Right.
you know, to most consumers. We're a little bit older, so I'll listen to an album for a good 6 months, a year, or still like 3 years. If it's dope, if I fuck with it heavy, if I find an album that I really fuck with, like that FKA Twigs album I always talk about, I still listen to it.
Yeah.
So we're more from a generation where an album would live 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years.
Now I want to ask you a question because you said that, and I'm gonna show you where my fear came in at about releasing music. We know, hands down, Papoose lyrically, he up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
He put out 12 projects in 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
He named them after the months, and they all, from what I think I saw, all at least have like 7 songs minimum.
Right.
Are you listening to every album of every month, like 12 albums?
Yes,
No.
but they may not all hit like that. So the artist I used as an example, FKA Twigs, she dropped an album maybe 3 or 4 years ago called Magdalene, that I think is a beautiful album. Like from beginning to end, I just think it's a beautiful project. She dropped something after, and then she dropped again after, and I don't really fuck with them 2 afters.
Right.
Okay.
I don't really fuck with them, but I did go listen to them, you know, because I'm now a fan of hers. So whatever she puts out, I'm gonna go listen to.
Got it.
Whether it hits me and I gravitate towards it, you know, it depends on the project. But if I was a Papoose fan, I would have listened to all 12, and hopefully I would have had one that I could go back and be like, yeah, this is the one.
Right.
Got it.
There's an artist, Game. I was thinking about Game for some reason yesterday.
Okay.
I was watching something online, a YouTube documentary, because that's like all I watch. But I was thinking about Game, right? And Game is, I don't think I've ever met anybody that'll be like, oh, Game is in my top 5 or in my top 10.
Game is dope, yo.
Or Game is my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
But I believe anyone who has listened to Game has a Game album that they fuck with.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might not fuck with all his albums.
Yeah.
You might not even fuck with him. But I think everyone who has listened to him has at least one Game album that they fuck with.
He's
I know
a
I
good
do.
artist.
I do too.
I
He's
have
a good artist.
a Game album that I love.
I love the Red
and
album.
You have one.
Red album.
So I think
fire.
there's artists like that maybe you might not fuck with them so much, but they'll put out a project that you'll be like, yo, that shit is dope.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I'll tell you 2 things in this conversation. You know, the first being Game. What you were talking about with Game, the reason is he's a good artist and he's from the school of Dre, Dr. Dre, where he's gonna put his all into that project, no matter how long it takes to drop. And secondly, what I think with like the whole Papoose situation and, for example, FKA Twigs you were mentioning, is that I think artists need to stay consistent, but there's a fine line. You don't want to oversaturate, but then you don't want to take too long between dropping projects, whether it's a single, whether it's an EP, in between either.
Right.
You know, you want to keep your fans satisfied, but you don't want to give them too much because then they're going to be like, it doesn't have the same quality or the same feeling.
That has to be tough as an artist, though, because how do you know when enough is enough and when it's now delving into too much?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Pressure. Go ahead.
In my opinion, it's about it's 2 things of how I approach putting out music. One is it's just like a TV series, right? If you're able to assume or know that you'll always be able to go watch Power on Sundays, you have something to look forward to. But do it in increments, like do it in particles, not as a big release.
Right.
Because what it is you want to spoon feed people from a distance.
Microdose.
Or my second approach is paying attention to analytics. If something is working, then don't take eyes off of it.
Right.
Analytics, like insights, always help.
That's we've spoken about this before, but that's an advantage that today's artist has over previous generations. That not only do they rap and know how to rap, they also know how to shoot the video, edit the video, go study analytics, see what country's really fucking with them, go reach out to that country and set up a show over there. Like, you're doing all this by yourself, bro. Like, you're literally a record label alone. And I just admire the fuck out of that, bro. These kids nowadays know so much about global economics and the music business that is, yo, y'all deserve major props, bro.
Yeah, that's actually what helped me with Green Ranger, though. And this was what I'm going to tell you right now. And Blood was saying that he listened to a lot of records I had. There's no project that is like transparent as far as aggression and so direct.
Right.
Right. And that project, I went in not caring who I offended.
Right.
I don't care how close you are to me. It was time to be honest.
Yes.
Out of all the music I made, I never made music like this. And I'm like, yo, whether I was on the radio and whoever played me or blah, blah, I'm like, why the ignorant music is the one that's working? Like, I'm like, I would have been doing this because I've been felt this way.
Yeah.
It's crazy, yo. Like, but
people
Insight
love
show.
that drama shit, bro.
They do, yeah.
But also people love honesty.
That's the thing.
Okay.
More importantly than drama, people love honesty. And when an artist is
transparent,
no pun intended, transparent,
True.
people will fuck with it, bro. And that will be a longer fan than the fan that just likes the song. You know
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
If
I
you
also think it's like the feeling, like you got to create music that has a feeling, like the honesty and the ignorance.
Right.
If that's what you're feeling at the time, you're going to put your all into it. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
Don't get me wrong. If you want to do something where it's like, you want to put a PSA out or something, sometimes it does hit, but not like, yo, this nigga fucked with me. I'm about to put a track and smoke him. You know what I'm saying? You're going to catch this smoke. This is coming from a different place, and the creativity.
And people relate to that shit because we've all felt that way, bro.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that, like, yo, the response I be getting from it with people all over be telling me, like one lady, I'm not going to say her name, but she reached out to me and saying, like, she was homeless before. Like, and I said in the end of the record, I was saying, like, when I had to stand out in the cold, I was by myself. She's like, I felt that way. I was home. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even realize, like, it's billions of people in the world.
Yeah.
It's somebody else that feel the way you felt.
Exactly.
That's why I like that Silent Scream titles. I like the fear. We all find excuses and reasons to not do shit.
Yeah, you find excuses and reasons to, I mean,
bro.
respectfully, cheat. People, whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Still, you hear it all when you talk to somebody that has to survive.
Yeah.
It's about survival.
Absolutely. If you do a Green Ranger 2, can we get a Green Ranger cameo?
Definitely. Definitely.
I'll volunteer, bro. I don't care.
Now, on that,
I don't think they make suits.
no,
I'll slim down for that shit.
nah, I definitely would do that, man. I actually didn't even send out the memo for that one besides the people that was in the video. I just was talking to them. But yeah, I definitely want to do it bigger because people would love to be a part of it because of the way that it feels,
And if you can tap into that freaking Power Ranger fan base, and even if you can steal 10% or even if you get 1% of that shit, you'd be a big artist, bro.
And it was dope. It was
not
dope.
that you need it, but
And it was
nah,
dope.
everything helped.
It was dope how the video used the whole green filter.
Right.
Everybody was green.
Right.
That was dope. That was real dope.
That's pressure putting that directorial knowledge mixed with the art, the artist knowledge.
Shout out to the kid Ed too, man. Eddie, he shoot all my videos. That's like my barber. I don't go to nobody else. Eddie shoot all my videos. He handed it over. I chop it up. I send it to him for his approval, just because I respect his vision.
Right.
And we work together, man. He's another person that he helps a lot. So I definitely
shout out to Eddie. Absolutely. See, ladies. Directors and barbers, men can be loyal. So, I
was gonna say originally when you asked the question about the Green Ranger, like why he named that title, the Green Ranger was the shit. Like, when the Green Ranger dropped, the Power Rangers was different. You know what I'm saying? He was the shit. And then you could do something like maybe do like a graffiti wall, like in honor of him, basically a tribute, or like a jacket you could like airbrush like the Green Ranger.
Why are you trying to cut out my cameo, bro? I'm trying to pop up in the Power Ranger suit doing flips and shit.
And the crazy part is when you watch any of the Power Ranger series, the Red Ranger is the guy, right? But that 6 men, man, yo.
So that Green Ranger facts, yo.
Shout out to that, man. The Jersey City rap scene is very it seems to be very connected.
Yeah, it's getting better.
I like that. You shouted out. You spoke of Ransom earlier. Big shout out to Ransom. He just dropped an album, I believe, last week. Make sure y'all go check it out. Go download that.
He's still active, man. I love it.
No, go ahead.
I was about to say, and I could play it for y'all. Not now, but I got a record with him and Fred the Godson unreleased.
Nice.
That we ain't put out. We got something crazy.
We need that.
You spoke on the brother Sam Black. Shout out to Sam Black. Speedy produced on your
Sheep Clothing.
Transparent.
Sheep
Shout out to that.
That's
the brother
dude
DiBiase.
right
Shout out to that, man.
Yeah.
You're saying it's getting better. That means at a time it was worse. Why do you think it was disconnected?
What are you speaking on specifically? My bad.
The Jersey City rap scene. So now
correct.
it seems like everybody's interconnected and working together, and it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
But you said it's getting better, meaning at a time it wasn't so good. Why wasn't it so good before?
The reason why I think it's getting better is because some people are outgrowing the ignorance. Like, and sometimes it takes that one person in the circle to kind of like open the door of like, yeah, why are we beefing with them, or why they beefing with this person? So, yeah, I would definitely say just people being more open to collaborating. I definitely see the difference. Like, I'm seeing features that I'm like, they get along.
Word up.
But I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. We support that. We support Jersey City.
Big facts.
We support the rap scene in Jersey City. Everybody doing it. Shout out to everybody who's been up here. Kozan, Sam Black, DiBiase, Game Over. Shout out to the brother Fury. Shout out to Speedy. Shout out to Pressure Online, of course. Who else? CF201. Matter of fact,
Prices.
brother F, CF201 sends you a message of apologies. Who else?
Prices.
I was really on that when I was younger. Look,
Wow.
that's me. I had a Green Ranger cake.
That's fire.
I think I was 7 or 8.
Oh no, you the Green Ranger for real.
I really took that
shout out to
serious.
that,
man.
That's
man.
crazy.
Definitely keep doing your thing, brother. We look forward
you.
to Transparent Part 2, Godcast exclusive. You heard it here first. Be on the lookout for that. We look forward to the Green Ranger 2, Godcast exclusive. Be on the lookout for that. If the video happens, I'm gonna be in it in the Green Ranger suit, backflipping and karate kicking, because that's what I do. So be on the lookout for that. Any new
Apex
projects?
31.
Hey, shout out to Apex 31. I need it again. Shout out to the brother at Pressure Online. Make sure you're following Pressure on Instagram at Pressure Online. Also follow him on YouTube. He's got dope videos up there. You got a dope video being interviewed by Drewski. And you also got a really dope freestyle with Remy Ma over a Khaled beat that I super love. Was y'all together for that?
No, what's interesting about that is every time I do freestyles, which I usually do every Sunday, DJs will mash them up. But I forgot who did it at the time, but they let me release it. I was like, okay. And it was moving.
And you got something called the In the Booth series, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, yeah. Every Sunday, usually. I do it in seasons, though, so I do it monthly. So I do 4, take a break. But, yeah, that's my thing, man.
And that's going to continue?
Yeah, definitely.
And you just dropped a song, the first release from the In the Booth series, if I'm not mistaken. I could have sworn I read that.
The Listen to Your Heart.
Yes.
I had shout out to Jugs. I had the challenge off Juggernaut beat, and we actually, it was just a freestyle to begin with, and he was like, "Man, put it on the DSP," and I was like, "All right."
There you go. Well, shout out to that, man. We look forward to seeing more of that. Y'all brothers got any more questions for the brother Pressure?
Nah, man, I'm good. You covered everything.
Blood.
I don't got no more questions, man. I know we're gonna give our shout outs, but you got something, bro. Yeah. I love the visuals. I love the videos. It all goes hand in hand. So just keep it rocking. That's it.
Absolutely.
Thank
Pressure,
you so much,
got any
man.
shout outs, my bro?
Man. I want to shout out everybody that has a dream or has a passion in anything.
Yes.
And can't find a way to break through. I want to tell people, if they don't, and this is for everybody, anybody that puts restrictions or boundaries on their success, like, don't do that, man. Like, I was solo for a long time. Like, you see, I came in by myself. It's days where I got people with me. It's days where I make it happen. Right. Don't find excuses and reasons anymore. We're gonna get past that point in our lives. And do it for whoever you got to do it for, but definitely do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
Wise words from a wise man.
That's right.
Make sure, again, that y'all go download and stream Transparent, download and stream Fear, download and stream Silent Screams. Follow that In the Booth series. Follow Pressure Online on YouTube, on Instagram. VS, you got any shout? Oh, wait. My bad. My bad. Let's get into 10 shots with VSOP.
All right, we know you don't drink, but we're going to line up 10 shots of VSOP. And if you get these questions wrong, you got to drink all of them. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I'll take the water.
Nah, I'm going to ask you 10 quick rapid-fire questions. You answer them with minimal thought. Once we're done, we'll go back, and we'll discuss your answers.
All right, I like
All
this.
right?
Let's go.
All right, so here we go. Number 10. If you could choose one, which one would you do or stick with, rapping or directing?
Rapping.
Okay. Number 9. We saw that you met Beyonce at the Grammys. You know, you got to, rub shoulders with her or whatever. If you could choose an artist to work with, would it be her or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Okay. We know that you're indie now, but if a major came to you and gave you the major bag, would you rather stay indie or go major?
Major.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that one. No problem. You rapped on Sheep's Clothing, which took the It's Murder sample. Speedy Baby, you the man for that. Murder Inc. was a group that was formed but never really materialized. Same as The Commission with Biggie Jigga. Who would you rather have an album with, The Commission or Murder Inc.?
Man, yo.
That is a tough one, to be fair.
I don't make them easy.
How can I, you said take a shot on that?
Take a shot.
that would be the medium.
Drink.
Wait, I'm trying to think. You got Ja, X, J.
And Jay-Z on one side, and then you got Jigga, Biggie, Puff,
C's,
Charlie
Baltimore,
Baltimore, the Hitmen.
There's no
Puff
wrong
Daddy.
answer.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
There is no wrong answer, but Puff Daddy.
All right. But because Jay is on both sides, I mean, the Commission. That's that. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No problem.
That makes sense.
We started with a Jones song. If you could choose to rock with either of these brothers, who would you go with, Cam or Jones?
Wow.
I'm not making them easier today.
Yeah, you're not. Cam.
Okay. All right.
Shouts to Killer, man.
Yeah.
If one of these two brothers asked you to come on tour with them, who would you go with, Kanye or Drake?
Drake.
Okay. All right. We know you have an affinity for Murder Inc. and the Commission. DMX was part of Murder Inc.
Wait, who said he got an affinity for Murder Inc.? I thought he was G Unit.
No, Murder Inc. the group.
The group,
not the label. Not the label. Overall, who had Pac and DMX both did movies, records, all that, right? Who would you take in that arena, DMX or Pac?
Pac.
Okay. Who's the punchline king, Fab or Banks?
Wow. Banks.
Okay. Number 2, Jay-Z or Nas? Who you taking? Who has the overall better career in your opinion, or a better artist?
Jay-Z.
Jigga. And last but not least, the holy trinity of today's music, or at least of today's hip hop. Who you taking? Cole, Kendrick, or Drake?
Cole.
And there you go. Last one.
Shout out to J. Cole. Shout out to Fayetteville.
I got an 11th shot real quick. I got an 11th shot.
Bonus
First
round.
time ever on the GAHHD.
Let's go.
All right. Who you taking in a battle? Joe Budden or Loaded Lux?
Ooh, damn.
I'm taking. Come on, these are my guys for real. Joe, I'll take it, Joe.
Budden.
Ooh.
Shouts to Joe Budden, one of the most underrated rappers.
Yeah, I'm taking Joe, man.
100%.
I'll tell you something interesting though. The A-Team, right? Hitchcock,
Yeah.
I met everybody within that group and worked with them except for Joe. I never actually met Joe.
To this day?
To this day, I never met Joe. We've been in similar areas and certain
Right.
buildings together same time, and I've heard about it, but I never ran into him, met him.
That one day,
Shit.
absolutely. I've also never met him, but
But me and him
I
gotta
fuck
have a
with
talk
Joe
though,
Hart.
because I don't know why I'm blocked on Twitter. That's another conversation.
Oh,
Really?
he blocked
I
you.
never told nobody that. This exclusive for y'all.
Godcast exclusive. Joey, why you
trolling you
blocked
or
my bro
something.
Pressure?
What did I do, man?
Damn, let's do a quick review. Rapping over directing, I could dig it, although I'm sure you love both.
Yeah.
Beyonce over Rihanna, there is no wrong answer. Shout out to
You met
Beyonce.
Beyonce?
Shout out to
I
Rihanna.
must have missed that.
No, yeah, you weren't on the.
On his YouTube, on his shorts, he's backstage at the Grammys with Beyonce. She's a few feet away, but he's right there breathing the same air, and it looks beautiful. So shout out to that.
I might have fainted.
I'll catch you, my friend. Major over independent, I could dig it, man.
Just because you've been independent your whole life, it's nothing wrong with just
having that machine, right?
Let
them do the work, bro. Plus, you've been putting in all that work, man.
Yeah,
Get the bag, motherfucker.
especially if it can make it work in my favor. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Commission over Murder Inc. Shout out to that. So the rumor that I've heard recently, I've just come across this information, is that the Commission album was actually recorded. It was just never released. I can't confirm nor deny. But if there is a Commission album out there, please, for the love of the Lord, put it out so we can have it. We need some big that we never heard. We need some new Hove back then, new shit. Diddy, C's, all that shit, all that good shit, man. Cam, I think Cam was supposed to be on there, right?
Nah, I don't think he was on the Commission.
He might have been because he had just signed, so maybe he was in there somehow.
Yeah, maybe.
Cam over Jones. There's no wrong answer, bro. They both good people.
Yeah.
On tour with Drake or Kanye. Drake is actually the right answer because I would also go because I'm gonna be fake Drake and
You are the fake
I'm
Drake.
gonna be like, he busy, but you could fuck with me, hang with me. You know what I mean? Groupie love. Shout out to that. Pac over X. No wrong answer, bro. Banks over Fab. Again, no wrong answer. And I would have been disappointed if you didn't say Banks the way you was bigging him up earlier.
Nah.
Although Fab, we also bigged him up, but Banks.
You know why? Because and I say this right. I love Banks, man. Like, and it's dope that he.
You said you met him, right? You got
I met him at a show on my birthday that he had.
I was gonna say he shouted you out on your birthday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love Banks. I gotta say this, but he became so super lyrical. Yeah. He started to lose me a little bit. Fab is not an ABC rapper,
right?
But
he knows when to dumb it
his
down.
His connection,
he
stuck with me a little better.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, them soul tapes and what's the Summertime Shootout?
Shootout.
I'm like, see, Banks didn't do that for me.
Right
after, like his mixtapes prior to Hunger for More, but after like the Cold, those ones is like.
What'd you think of his last two albums?
The Inevitable.
Yeah.
1 and 2. I listened to it, and I would say this, and this hurts me to say this, man, as a fan. I can hear the difference in production. I can hear the difference in quality, and I you don't want to see someone that's an idol to you
fall off.
I'm trying to find a better word.
For lack of a better term, digress.
Right. I don't want to see him lean. I don't want to see him lean too much. You know what I mean? Like I can hear it, and it's sad to watch.
In his defense, the second one was better than the first one. I listened to the second one more than I would ever listen to the first one.
But look at what you guys are critiquing. It's never Banks. It's never the bars. It's the production. Maybe the sound quality. Yeah. So that means he's just one hit away from being back. You know what I'm saying?
Because he did that with Burnz Bentley. Like I remember that story. I was like,
I think he kind of separated from 50, and I think that's what kind of takes away from him now as an artist. Because him on those mixtapes, forget about it. Like he was the second coming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just think, I don't know, his new style is just
and if he's beefing with 50, you never know. 50's a petty guy, bro.
Not only that,
he might do a silent blackball or some behind the scenes.
I've watched interviews where 50 has talked about him, and he said that although he's an excellent lyricist, I mean, one of the greatest ever, you know what I mean? That he was lazy, one, and two, like 50 told him, yo, get on Instagram. When Instagram first popped, he's like, get on Instagram. Even if you just put a picture of you with a caption from one of your lyrics, that connects you to the fans. Right. The fans know your lyrics. Do that. And he said, nah, that's corny. I don't do that. Would Pac and Big do that if they were alive? And 50 was telling him, yo, those guys are dead. You think Pac would be out here rolling around with a fucking leather vest? And Biggie still rocking Coogee, trying to hand his beeper number to bitches? No. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was one of Banks' problems. You know what I mean?
Yep.
According to 50.
I definitely I heard the audio book and stuff when he was talking about that. Yeah, that's
a good ass book.
That was
right?
that was
Yo, that's a good ass.
It was
book.
disturbing too, because again, you want to like people for the artist they is, but now with everything being so accessible as far as like information about people's personal lives, it can change how you feel about people. Right. Like I don't know if y'all against this, right? I was watching Chris Rock's Selective Outrage. He got a new stand-up.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
He was talking about, and I hate to bring this on your platform. If y'all want to cut it, we cut it.
No.
He was saying how people won't play R. Kelly music, but he has similar charges as Mike. And I was like, that was deep. I didn't know how to feel about that because Michael Jackson.
I'm gonna let Bludshot answer that.
That was deep, man.
Because Bludshot is super anti R. Kelly.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you're super anti Mike.
I won't selectively play either anymore. If it comes on, it comes on. You know what I'm saying? It's
but remember, Mike's charges were dismissed, and the accusers came out as saying they lied.
It's still very cool. Matter of fact, now that you bring that up, Fresh, I was watching last night. They just released something. I'm not sure what channel it was on, but it's something about the New York Times, and it's a kind of like a 4 or 5 part series about a private investigator in Los Angeles that he covered everyone's crimes up back in the day. He was doing a lot of wiretaps, and that's why he got charged. And he talks about Chris Rock. There's some situation with Chris Rock. Matter of fact, with like a rape allegation and like a paternity situation. Wow. And they talk about Michael Jackson as well. And the whole Michael Jackson shit is still questionable, man. Like, I don't give a fuck if the charges were dropped. He had enough money to buy a fucking DA, a judge. Yo, I'm telling you, that shit is all questionable,
it's
bro.
Deep, man.
Yeah, man. So I won't selectively play it anymore because I can't listen to it with the same ears.
But I like that you said if it comes on, it comes on.
Right, that's what I was about to say. Yeah. But that's the point of where we have so much just power as listeners where, like, look at how it affects how we feel about classic music. Like, we can't take the word classic away from the music.
Absolutely.
But it's crazy, man, that we even feel like we have to choose. Like, it's messed up, man.
It sucks, too, because R. Kelly has good music that is not necessarily that sexual, explicit music that he's known for.
Right.
He's got the Love Letter album, which is just a great album, bro. It's like a beautiful fucking album. And
crazy.
It's hard to listen to now, but it deserves to be listened to. He did a part 2 also, the Love Letter part 2. It wasn't as good. But if you ever want to hear good R&B and are open to listening to the Love Letter is an album that may not offend you.
That was the one that came out like in 2012, 2013, something like that.
Yeah. Let's get back to the list. Jay-Z over Nas. You know that's always the right answer. Can't never go against that. Cole over Drake and Kendrick. I agree, bro.
Yeah, J. Cole, something different, man. When I started hearing him on the warm-up, the Friday Night Lights, it's mixed.
I totally agree.
When he got with Jay, that first album, I was like, okay, he's trying to commercialize himself, but he went back to his roots with that Forest Hill Drive.
Yeah.
That one got me right back. I was like, yeah.
But, you know, even that first album, Sideline Story, it got joints on there.
No, it's massive joints on
there. Yeah. It's got joints that are like
questionable. It's the ones that they chose for the single. Like, I don't have nothing against the one with him and Trey songs were like that, but I was like,
it didn't
he had joints in there
properly show the album. Yeah.
And that song, the hit off that album that he took the Paula Abdul interpolation.
Miguel shit?
No. Damn, what the hell?
Every Day Stars Born?
That
really gonna
yeah, that one.
I don't remember what song that is though. But yeah.
It's on that album. That's the one that Nas got at him was like,
isn't that the Workout? That's the J. Cole Workout.
There you go.
That's one with Missy on it?
She's on the album. She's on the Nobody's Perfect.
Oh, right.
Nobody's Perfect. Yeah. I fuck with that album. I know the album.
Yeah, no, that's a good album. That's a good album.
No, he's a good artist, but I put him as the GOAT over Kendrick. Like, it's crazy that Billboard put Kendrick the number 2 artist.
It's crazy how much dick riding of Kendrick occurs. I'm sorry to say this, but Kendrick is alright. He got that one classic album, Good Kid, Mad City. That shit is 5 mics plus.
Yeah.
But everything after that been aight.
That's crazy. I gave someone my top 5 and I didn't put Kendrick in it.
And they almost fucking tackled you.
Kendrick
They
don't make my
decapitated you.
top 10.
I made a top 5 of artists that came out within like the last 10, 15 years.
Let's hear it.
No specific order. I'm just gonna say it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I put Drake in there.
Okay, as he should be. He should.
I put Meek Mill in there. Out of the newer guys from 2010 to now, just
Yeah.
Meek Mill.
He had a run.
2.
Yeah.
Thirdly, I was rolling with J. Cole for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Fourthly, Ace Hood, very underrated.
Ace Hood, that's
Ace
a shocker,
Hood.
but okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
skipped on commercial records. That Stardom Starvation series.
He had a wave.
Yeah.
He had a wave.
Yeah.
Ace Hood is in there, and 5th, I put Big Sean. Big Sean is ill too.
Sean.
His pen game crazy.
Big Sean, yeah. He got
It's
some
funny
joints.
when you listen to older Big Sean and then you listen to Drake and you're like, damn, he really did take his whole fucking flow on some joints, bro.
yeah.
Because Sean has been on record saying that.
But they like, why you ain't put Kendrick in there? I'm like, you just don't tap with me the same way.
He
But
don't resonate with you.
I'm not taking away from who he is.
No. Again,
As an artist.
in my opinion, to me personally, that Good Kid, Mad City is that might be y'all's Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? Like that
could be.
generation's Illmatic to me, because that shit is really a perfect album.
Now,
Kendrick, other than that, he really don't do it for me.
when you say y'all generation, right? Let's just say I'm younger than y'all, right?
Right. I meant for that generation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say for me.
No, because
you're
you're like in the middle.
Nothing
50 was your shit.
Yeah, I'm early 90s.
Yeah, yours is
Nothing
definitely
beat-
Get Rich.
Nothing beat Get Rich or Die Trying. I'm talking about people hate when they like, what about the Black Album? I'm like,
No.
I love Jay.
I love Jay. And
But-
no.
No, no way.
Now, I'm glad we
Not
brought up Jay.
the
right?
Black Album.
I don't know how much time we got, but I want to ask you
Right
this.
on. And when it comes to Jay, we got all the time in the world.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll keep recording. Keep
I
the
read
camera
something
going.
online. I was going through my Instagram one day, and they broke down how Jay-Z is held on a pedestal. No disrespect.
Not my
But
man that was talking about he's never been the hottest rapper of any year, and he started naming all
yeah.
these
I
other
saw that,
bullshit
and I
rappers.
said-
No.
Because when he was talking about around the
He
time that
tripping. He
him,
named Ludacris.
he said when Reasonable Doubt. I forgot what year exactly that came out.
That
but
was
late 90s.
he said
96.
that was
That was 96.
96 was
Pac's
Reasonable
year.
Doubt. Yeah, Pac's year.
that was Pac's year.
And that's-
97 was Big's year. 98 was
Yeah.
DMX.
What was the year that DMX had the 2 #1 albums?
98.
98.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying there was never a time where Jay-Z had a better album than certain people. Yo, when he said that, and I thought back, I don't know, I felt crazy about that.
But
I was like, wow.
You've got to. He's correct in the fact that in that year DMX had 2 #1 albums to Jay's 1, but it's very rare that an artist drops 2 albums within
right.
a year.
Yeah.
Also, him dropping 2 #1 albums compared to 1 means statistically he did better, sales wise,
Right.
numbers wise, of course.
Yeah.
But the first album's a classic,
Mm-hmm.
and the second album, I'd be
Classic.
hard pressed to name
Classic.
5 songs off it. Name me 5 songs off it.
Blood on my blood.
Name me 5 songs off it. It's a
Yeah.
classic.
I
It's
don't
been
know
a
off top.
while. It's been a while.
Wait,
but,
which album was that?
Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's got Blackout.
Yeah.
I could tell you that.
Damien too.
What's that one?
My man said.
Fuck all day, fuck all night.
Party up in here? Is that Party up in here? No.
No, that was.
Oh,
the
that had
third
Slipping on there.
It has
Slippin'.
Slipping. Okay. But
Ready
you
to-
had to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, my memory ain't as sharp.
A class. Name me 5 songs off Ready to Die. Name me 5 songs off Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah,
Name
yeah.
me
I get
5
what you're
songs
saying.
off
Yeah, yeah.
I see what-
Illmatic.
I see
You know what I'm
I
saying?
see what you're saying.
So statistically, yeah, he was better, but I don't think I think Jay had that year on lock. But also, you went through 20 years that Jay was not the man, but Jay was in contention. Name me another artist that's been in contention for the top spot for 20 straight years.
Yeah.
There's
During his
no way.
time?
Anytime.
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 Not only that, those 20 years, the person that they quote unquote put on top of Jay, I guarantee you that person, his favorite artist, was Jay-Z.
And then look at my bad, because I'm going to defend Jay-Z to the end. Where are all those artists now compared to Jay-Z?
Yeah, that's the other.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, he might not have one year that he was, without question, the most dominant #1 artist, but he's had a career where he's been at or near the top of the game that continues to today.
Right.
No, but I mean, it's easy to make that argument when it's relative, like, now, right? But when you were back then, Jay-Z was hot. like it doesn't matter that, for example, DMX had those two albums and he was the man. Jay-Z might have had a single that knocked the whole album out the box.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's what people don't remember in retrospect.
Like, I'll give you like this. I'll say like this.
But Homeboy was a hater.
No, yeah, he definitely didn't like Jay-Z.
I mean, it's,
But in 1998, when DMX dropped those two albums, right, and Jay-Z came out with Hard Knock Life, okay? Hard Knock Life had Big Pimpin'. Big Pimpin' was a fucking smash for like 2 fucking years in a row.
So
it wouldn't go away.
And Hard Knock Life.
I'm just thinking
shit
about
was on the radio on repeat.
I'm just thinking about the times when we were out, like out at clubs or whatever.
Right.
How often would we hear Big Pimpin'?
Oh yeah,
especially to have a feature with Houston, emerging Texas, and like that was just even dope itself.
How many times did we not hear Big Pimpin' while we were out?
On the map.
And they don't really they didn't equate that into the argument as well. Remember, he had to join with Too Short. He not that he introduced the world to UGK, but he helped them gain more national exposure. Like Jay's done a lot, bro.
I mean, not No Limit, Cash Money.
Cash Money, absolutely.
Cash
The
Money,
extra shot question was Loaded Lux versus Joe Budden, and of course Joe Budden, bro. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Joe Budden's in my top 5 all time.
Yeah.
Well, see, it's difficult. Hold on. Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
If you ask people their top 5, it's a difficult question to answer because most people are gonna tell you Big, Pac, Jay, Nas, and a random.
And Pac.
So
they might say Jada. Right.
So 4 spots are like automatically taken of a top 5. You feel me?
Yeah.
But if I had to name my favorite rappers that I listen to, Joe Budden might be in the top 5.
Okay.
Not saying the top 5 greatest rappers of all time. Not saying the best rappers. Rappers that I want to listen to, that I fuck with. Joe Budden might be up there. Twista might be up there. Scarface might be up there.
Right.
You know, it might not be Biggie, J, Nas. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, they're up there, but that's like saying, who's your favorite basketball player? Michael Jordan. No shit. Who's your favorite basketball player other than Michael Jordan? Because everybody's Michael Jordan.
Yeah. See, and then with me being, like I said, like me growing up in hip hop by the time Give It Your Die Trying came out in 2003, my top 5 would be different. Even though I respect all of those artists, I love Rakim. Like,
yeah, but he's not in your top 5.
For a man that's not cursing and he flowing like, I'm like, yeah, Rock is different. But like my top 5, let's say on a humble note, like I would throw Method Man in there.
Because it's your top 5.
That's what I'm saying. It's different.
Came up in a different time.
Yo, respectfully, I even put Ludacris in there.
I fuck with Ludacris.
People don't even
I just don't
know.
think he's better than Jay-Z.
No, I'm not saying, of course. See, that's what I'm saying. I try to rule out, like, when I do that, I try to go for, like, damn near 99, 2000. Like, I try to give some of those guys a chance.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, Ludacris is a underrated MC, too. He could rap his ass off, bro.
Random question. Blood, I want you to answer this first.
Yeah.
In a versus battle, 20 records. I want you to think about this because I was arguing with somebody about this. Who you going with? And you've never seen this before, male and female. Missy Elliott versus Busta Rhymes, 20 joints.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we here to make it difficult, right?
Hell yeah. Nothing easy on the great American hip hop debate.
If you pull up those stat sheets on both sides, you'd be like,
listen, that is a fucking great verses, and I love the question. I'm gonna say Busta, and I'm gonna explain why. You know, and I was just thinking about this. We were just having the conversation, right? I'm old enough that I can remember when Busta first started, so I can say that I pretty much heard his whole catalog. Same with Missy. You know, I was obviously around when Missy first started. You know, so seeing her progression was crazy, and seeing the monstrous fucking singles that she had was crazy. But Busta just got songs that to me are timeless. So you put up, for example, put your hands where my eyes can see, versus like Missy's, what was one of her biggest one? Can't Stand the Rain. Or Hot Boy, some crazy shit that she had. I'm gonna be like Busta all day. That's the only reason I would choose him. You feel me? Because I know his entire catalog since like he was with Leaders of the New School. You know what I mean? That I'm a hip hop connoisseur in that sense.
Got you.
You know?
What y'all going with?
Busta, that's a good one though. That's a good one, bro.
That's tough. That
because you know,
like I know, like Blood, I know Busta's catalog. I know Busta's catalog from when he was with Leaders, and then he branched off on his own. Same as Missy. Damn.
Missy got Work It, Get Your Freak On.
Yeah. Hot Boys, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But 1 Minute Man, all that shit. You know what I mean?
Folks with Luda, like she had different flows.
I would definitely go with Busta because for one. Even though Missy changed the game when she came in, she's one of the greats in my opinion. Because what she did, what her and Timbaland did, after that, music changed, the sound changed, everything changed, the visuals, everything. I will credit Busta, like he did the crazy visuals before Missy did.
Yeah,
so that's why I will credit him.
I always loved his animation, man.
Yeah,
that's why I compared them to because they both had
very animated.
Yeah. They had something outside of just being a rapper.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna go against both of y'all and go with Missy.
Okay.
Because Missy not only is a rapper, Missy is also a producer, and Missy is also a songwriter.
Right.
So if Missy comes out with an Aaliyah joint that she produced or wrote,
exactly.
Busta may not have an answer to that. Now, in regards to it being a versus, it has to be strategic. If Busta plays "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See," you're not gonna play one of your biggest songs because there's no way to beat that fucking song.
Nah.
You're gonna play one of your weak joints. You're gonna let them get that point. But after a while, Busta might run out of points, in my opinion, because I'm not the craziest big Busta fan.
I don't think he will. That's the only reason I say Busta.
That's why I said in my opinion, because I'm not the biggest Busta fan. I think Busta has, I'd give him 5 to 8 joints.
Nah, Busta's got.
I'd give him, guys.
Look, you're hurting the guest chest, man.
Protect the lungs.
Yo, what are you doing?
I'm saying me. I know y'all might disagree, but to me, Busta might have 5 to 8 joints where Missy. Okay. Definitely
Busta has hits from his. He has hits from his first album.
You're not gonna change my opinion. I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with it.
The point of debate is not to change your opinion, to make you realize.
But I realize Busta has joints. Missy better,
and he did it for how many? He still got joints that he's releasing like last year.
I just discovered "Rise" by Busta Rhymes.
Jesus,
the song "Rise." Everybody rise. That shit is fire. I just discovered it.
You're late.
Like within the last month, I just discovered it.
Damn, you said 5 to 8. That's off top of your head, though.
That's off top,
off the top of my head, yeah.
And I mean 5 to 8 that Missy can't beat.
Right.
Yes.
He has way more hits. Probably. Yeah.
I'm gonna just name 10, and I want you to tell me, do Missy have something to beat this song?
See. Go ahead.
Busta Rhymes and Sean Paul, Make It Clap.
Hell yeah.
Possibly. Busta Rhymes, Break Your Neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. That song Break Your Neck, you throw that shit on, everybody's going crazy. Produced by Dre.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I know the song.
All right, put your hands where your eyes can see. Skip that.
I don't think anybody could beat that.
Busta's, they got features in here. His verse on "Look at Me Now" with Chris Brown.
Oh yeah, you can't beat that.
That's gonna be
because he's gonna perform it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna drop the beat. Split Star is gonna be there. You can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Busta's on "Flavor in Your Ear" remix.
Scenario even.
Scenario is next.
Yeah.
Scenario.
Those two might be hard to beat. That has me at like 4. Yeah, that has me at like 4.
Busta and Mariah, I Know What You Want.
Beatable.
That's beatable?
Yeah, that's beatable. I think that's beatable.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's low, that's why.
With Khalees, I Love My Chick.
Super beatable.
Yeah, that one's beatable.
Got it, right? Whoa High, Got You All in Check.
No.
As much as I love that song, it's beatable.
Okay, you might prefer some.
I
think so. Missy could definitely come up with something that could beat that, bro.
Ooh, I got you all in.
Busta, Give Me Some More.
No.
I like that song. That one might not be beatable to me.
Pastor Cavacia, Part 2.
No.
Huge hit.
I forgot about that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'm going to put that one as a maybe.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
I got like 6 so far. and impossible.
Busta's A-Rab Money.
Super beatable. That
one's
shit's trash.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little bit beatable.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to see if this is like a 50-50 split. So I'm trying to get you to 10. Dangerous.
No, nothing's beating Dangerous.
Nah, yeah, I don't know. I think Missy could pull something out the hat with that one.
Two more.
You pull out a Genuine song or an Aaliyah song, you could beat that.
Yeah, you said you got 8, right?
I'm at about 6 and a possible. Yeah.
Busta Rhymes without Missy verse on this. Touch It.
Touch It, the
Touch It, Bring It Back.
Beatable. I think what made that song hot was the remixes.
Even if that though.
I think it's beatable.
Okay. And
Did you say Scenario?
Yeah,
that counted as a point because that's a big one.
Yeah.
All right, so you
close remix.
You close to 8, right?
I'm at about 8. Yeah.
Now I'm leaving joints out, but I want to say there's one verse to try to make it like a 10-10 split. Busta Rhymes and the Up verse.
Oh my god.
Wait. Busta Rhymes and the Up verse.
Here we go now. There you go.
Busta Rhymes now. Here we go now.
I think it's beatable.
Yeah.
I think Remy beat him on that song.
I think so too.
No.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, but Remy's the
But
shit.
we talking about Missy.
Yeah.
I think
Getting
if
down and
she
dirty.
finds the right thing, if she sequences her shit right, I think it's beatable. Not saying she would beat it. Maybe she plays some bullshit. And
But
fucks
in
it
a
up.
versus, remember he's gonna be performing these songs.
But so is she.
I don't
She's
know. The energy
a
of
hell
that
a
song.
performer as well.
No, she is, but I think the
I would
energy.
put Rise as unbeatable if they played the intro. I saw a video where they played the original sample and then they went into the song.
Yeah.
That shit had the room.
I left out one.
Crazy.
The one that he had with In the Ghetto, Rick.
Oh, with Rick James?
Rick James, yeah.
Beatable.
Yeah.
You forgot about it.
How about?
I think New York shit might be one that maybe is
unbeatable.
unbeatable.
Say is unbeatable, Burnz.
Hit me.
The Fired Up with the Knight Rider sample.
Unfair.
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 Now look, I'm about to challenge them since you love
Anything with the Knight Rider sample, it wins.
Yeah.
Now check this out,
Unbeatable.
because you love Joe. The feature he did with Joe, Fire.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
Guess who's coming? I'll be the go to the flow. I'll be the go to the spit. I'll be the go to the draw. We
That's
like a blue
dope.
The price for looking
I don't know if I would say it's unbeatable, but that was definitely dope.
Yeah, that's a definitely.
If he
dope
brings
song.
out Joe Budden, unbeatable.
That was dope, man.
Word up, man. Shout out to the brother Pressure. Thank you
Yes,
for coming
sir,
through
man.
today.
I thank you guys.
Shout out to
Thank you, my brother.
everybody tuned in. Make sure y'all are on the YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow at Pressure Online on the gram, on the YouTube. VS, you got any shout outs? Did you do your shout outs already?
No, I didn't. But
Please,
shout out
shout-outs.
to Pressure, man. You like I said, I tell this. I don't say this often. You make the kind of music I look for. Like I seek out. Like if I didn't know who you were or whatever, and I just happen to come across your music, I'm sticking with it. You understand what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
High praise, high praise.
You know what I mean? So like I said, shout out to you. You know, you do not only do you do your music, but on top of that, you direct all your videos. Even though somebody else is shooting them, it's still your vision. And you look and I seen it because I seen the making of Mountains.
Oh yes. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
So,
Mountains. Yeah, that's another one.
That's another
Mountains
one.
is like a humble version of Green Ranger if you listen to it.
Facts.
That's a dope song.
Facts.
Thank you,
You know
so
what I'm
much. And
But-
one thing I want to add too, that I mean, just to throw it out there, I do all my artwork, all my album covers you ever seen, mixtape covers. I design all of that.
The Fear artwork is amazing.
Thank you. That was a picture my mother took when
Yeah.
I was in the hospital bed when they just put the tube in my chest.
Right.
And I had do a little. I didn't do too much to the cover. It was really real. But besides me making my covers too, everything y'all ever heard from me, I recorded.
Oh,
I've recorded and mixed and engineered all my music.
There you
People
go.
don't know that. That's why when you say what do I like between rapping or visuals, visuals is cool, but I'm a selfless person. I love to capture other people's moments,
Right.
whether it's weddings, baby showers, whatever. But at the same time, to have something in your head and be able to put it out audio wise and just paint that picture, like it's a different feeling, man.
people forget that musicians create something out of nothing.
True.
Yep.
You sit there with nothing but your thoughts, and next thing you know, you done created a song. Somebody could play it on the guitar. It's an actual. It's not a physical thing because it's music, but
Right.
it's,
Oh, it is physical. You could physically.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You put it on a tape. You put it on a CD.
It's tangible. It's tangible.
Absolutely. Any more
man.
shout outs?
Shout outs to Luna Bright. Shout outs to Straight Fuego Studio, man. Shout outs to Club Joe's Radio on AMP. Shout outs to Cafecito on AMP. And shout outs to Max Low Hip Hop with his Eardrum Stump radio show on AMP, man.
Absolutely. Tune into all that good stuff. Download AMP. Make sure you check out all those shows. And don't forget La Playa Radio with DJ
Oh, damn, how could I
Nandito, your
forget?
favorito.
That's right. How could I forget?
Blood, you got any shout outs, my bro?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the whole Jersey City. Even though I moved down south, I still got love for the hood, the whole fucking Hudson County. You know how the fuck we do. And everybody, make sure y'all go check that track All the Way featuring Taylor Port. Yo, she's like a grimy version of Little Kim, if you could even say that, you know what I'm saying? But I really, really love her as an artist, and I love that song, man. Y'all go check that out. My brother Pressure, yo, you keep doing the damn, because, yo, you did, bro.
Thank you so much. And there's one more shout I want to give out, and I feel crazy that I even forgot this. I want to shout out my man Ibn Shakur. He gave me the merch.
Absolutely, yes.
For Protect Black Women, and it's really because of a lot of things that's going on in the world that he's hip to. So I want to shout out his apparel. But also, I want to say RIP to a friend of mine named Nicole Bullock. Just passed away. I just came from a funeral in North Carolina. And ironically, I'm wearing this, and it's due to domestic violence. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Wow.
You know, you got kids out there that lose their mother and father. One in the ground, one in
jail. Yeah.
One in jail. Yeah. So I want to say R.I.P. Nicole, man. I went to school with her. I grew up with her.
Absolutely.
And that was heartbreaking, man. So yeah, protect everybody though, overall.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to her and her family, of course, to you. A loss of a friend, absolutely. Everybody protect Black women, protect all women, protect children, and protect some men that need to be protected, bro. Men get older, men get weaker, or God forbid, medical conditions, whatever the case may be. Some men need to be protected. We used to live in a world where it was a community, and everybody helped each other, everybody fed each other, and nobody starved, nobody's kids was wilding because the neighbor would hit you with the broom if they needed to, and things have changed. But let's get back to protecting each other. Let's get back to caring for each other, supporting, loving, and the world might be a little bit better, man. Word up.
And don't forget, man, protecting that kid.
And yes, always protect your neck. So
Buster.
definitely shout out to Pressure, OnLine. Shout out to my co-host VSOP. Shout out to Bludshot. Shout out to Brother F and Straight Fuego Studios. As always, if you need somewhere to lay down some vocals, record a video, practice your dance moves, record a podcast. The studio's here except for podcasts. I don't know why I always say that. You are not invited to record a podcast in my home. I'm sorry.
This is our home.
Shout out to Luna Break. Shout out to Dolly. Get your teeth whitened.
That's right.
Spring is coming. The sun's about to be out. You don't want to be out there with the Bundy Gold teeth. Old heads will remember that. And I think that's it for this week. We're gonna wrap up with the love song of the week.
Hey,
I found this new album. Shit is so fire. Listen to how fire it is. I had to send it to my brother Fontaine.
Hey, what?
So y'all know
wow,
what that means. I texted him like, yo, Titty Tane, I got an album for you. Then 5 minutes later, I sent it to my boy Sammy. So y'all already know it's an official album. Death Row is back. The first release of new music from Death Row Records. Shout out to Snoop. Wow. Shout out to this artist. His name is October London. The name of the album is The Rebirth of Marvin. The name of the song is You Look Better. It's the M. Burnz Love Song of the Week for episode 140. Before Brother F hits play, let me remind y'all, as always, chin up, chest out, carry yourself with honor. Carry yourself with pride. Brother F, hit my music. This is the Love Song of the Week.
We out.
Going out to all the ladies, all the thotties, all the side pieces, strippers, teachers, I love you, nurses. Vibe with me on the R&B tip. I can hit you with the deep voice too. Yeah. October London, Death Row Records, You Look Better.
Where you go?
The Rebirth of Marvin is the album. Go download that. Go download Transparent Fear, Silent Screams, Pressure OnLine's catalog.
Yeah.
Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast. I'm the Brother Burnz, and I'm out. Yo, that album is wiggle.
I like that sound.
Yeah,
That's fire.
we just quick, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Fix.